Howard joins us live from Los Angeles, where, of course, the U.S. just punched its ticket to the World Cup knockout round. We'll have 1996 U.S. Open champion Steve Jones will stop by and break down Wendell Clark's wire-to-wire win in New York. And, of course, always a Monday when we got Cards legend, former wideout Frank Sanders will be joining us as well. We also will be sending you to the four-packs to Scottsdale's 4th of July celebration at Westworld. It's the biggest fireworks show in Scottsdale history, so stay close. We'll give you a chance to win them. And off the wall file, that's stacked too. We got an 89-year-old grandpa flown across the country for his World Cup dream, locked out at the gate over a $6,000 ticket that never showed. We got World Cup tourists that are not tipping, and a reason why the U.S. Open looked like a ghost town on Saturday night. But let's get right to the heavy hitters, because the sports world did not take the weekend off. And the big one, Michigan, who won the national title in basketball in April, just lost their head coach, Dusty May, to the Dallas Mavericks, as the Mavericks have done a franchise reset and, of course, a program that was reeling in Ann Arbor. Well, we're going to dig into that because the defending champion head coach took both his guys both years to the Big Ten championship and won it. And now he is heading to the NBA. Now, the Hook, he's the first college head coach to jump straight to the NBA in quite a long time. It was Beelan, I think it was the last guy that did it. Boylan? Was it Boylan?
I'm sorry, Beelan.
Beelan. It was Beelan.
Beelan, yes.
I was like, all right, did I pronounce that wrong? Who went to Cleveland in 2019. He didn't even survive a full season. He went 14-40. But May, we'll see. I mean, the last coach to win both a title in the NBA and in college was Larry Brown. He's the only guy to win the title in both. Billy Donovan, Brad Stevens have had really good regular seasons, but have spotty playoff runs. But we'll see what Dusty May can do. John Calipari's name has been thrown out there. Of course, he's at Arkansas. But right now, it looks as though Boynton, who is the assistant coach, is the interim right now. So they will do everything in their power to try to keep him there, because this is going to be a recruiting nightmare. Because what will happen is with May's exit, it triggers the NCAA coaching change transfer window. Now, it doesn't open immediately. It opens 5 days after Michigan hires their new coach and then stays open for 15 days. So the clock hasn't even started, but players are waiting, I should say, on who the coach may be, who they may hire, unless they stay with Mike Boynton, who is the assistant head coach and former Oklahoma State head coach. So we'll see what happens there. But already they signed so many transfers. They got a kid from Tennessee. They got a kid from LSU. They got a kid from Cincy. They got incredible commitments from high school, like 5-star guys. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Michigan handles this. And, I don't know what's going on in Michigan. I'm obviously an Ohio State fan, so I can blast them right now. But when you look at the athletic department and what Ward Manuel has been doing, he's losing all his top coaches. I mean, you lose Harbaugh, then you lose, you just go on and on and on. Now he loses his basketball coach, and that program, of course, has got plenty of money, and they'll find somebody to take May's spot. But Michigan is a little bit under fire right now, as I think this came out of left field.
One of the things you think about is a lot of these coaches, I think May hinted at this, is just it's extremely difficult to keep track of the portal, the NIL, all the above. And I think, Rock, we're going to see more and more coaches eventually until this gets under track. And if the new NCAA rules push through Congress, the Executive Act with football, basketball, baseball comes into play, or hopefully within the next year or two, I think a lot of coaches are going to really struggle with all the stuff that they have to do. Now, with Dusty May, his situation, this could come down the pike of, I think he's at $4.5, close to $5 million per year right now. They might have gave him a Godfather offer on top of it. We don't know what the numbers are yet, but I can only imagine he might be $7-8 million per year. He might be tired of all this stuff that he's got to do.
He's only been there 2 years.
I know, but I mean, still, he's coaching college basketball. He's seeing what's going on. He'd rather prefer, I'm just speculating, go to a pro team. You have your general manager, have your hierarchy deal with the pros. But you just pointed out some guys. When I think of a lot of the college coaches that have gone on to the NBA, you mentioned Larry Brown, last one to win it all. I think it was at KU before he moved on to the NBA. He's had probably the most success. So it's rare a lot of guys do. You talk about Donovan. He's had some success. Guys have success, but as far as taking a team to an NBA championship on a weekend, on a year in, year out basis is really few and far between. So I can see these guys getting tired of it, go make their money, have other guys go ahead and deal with all the minutia that surrounds a pro franchise. And then you just do the coaching with whatever players they get you.
So it's a $5 million buyout, and now he gets to head to Dallas. He gets to coach Cooper Flagg, of course, the stud from Duke. And why Dallas? They've cleaned out their front office. They've done a major 180. Of course, the very unpopular trade of Luka Doncic to L.A., but they're building around the Rookie of the Year and Cooper Flagg. And, they're going to kick the tires, I'm sure, with getting out there. And who knows, maybe there's a move with Giannis. I mean, of course, we're not hearing Dallas as one of those teams, but something like this could maybe trigger that. Of course, the NBA trade is tomorrow. The Giannis noise is getting pretty loud. What did I say?
Trade.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the NBA draft is tomorrow. And, of course, a lot of talk with Giannis going to Boston, going to Miami, and a third team. It looked like Minnesota was in that mix. It looks as though Minnesota is not in that mix. But you never know. It's probably going to take three teams for them to move Giannis, but maybe Dallas will be in there.
It's interesting because you think of Kyrie Irving still on that team, Klay Thompson, total rebuild of whether those guys move on or not. But I think when a team talks to a college coach, says, hey, look, we're looking to rebuild. If I'm him leaving Michigan after a national title, I want to see what exactly their game plan is. You talk about Giannis. Would he be a guy that would come there? I doubt it because I think Giannis, he said from the get-go, if he goes somewhere, he wants to go and win it all. Dallas isn't going to win it all for maybe 2, 3, 4 years, whatever that is. So if it's Boston, yes, they have a chance to win it all. If it's Miami, yeah, they don't have a bad chance to win it all. But, he wants to go somewhere where he has a chance to win it all. Otherwise, he said he wouldn't leave Milwaukee after, 11, 12 years. But I think with the Dallas Mavericks, it's rebuilding mode, new coach, new front office, try to get that place reestablished like it was several years ago, almost 2011, when they won an NBA title.
So Brian Windhorst of ESPN today reported that Boston has now offered Jaylen Brown in this trade, this package to Milwaukee, a straight up Giannis for Brown. It could happen possibly before tomorrow. The money matches almost perfectly. Giannis is around $58.5 million. Brown is at 57. But according to ESPN, some of the kickers is there's no third team involved right now. So if it's Boston, Brown is a buck. If it's Miami, the centerpiece will turn into a couple different guys plus some picks. So I'm anxious to see what happens here. You wonder from Milwaukee fans using Giannis, what are you going to do there? Trae Young just signed for $200+ million to stay in Atlanta. So there's a lot of craziness going on. But the bottom line, Giannis is a 2-time MVP. He's spent 13 years in Milwaukee. He was a 2024 Finals MVP in Brown. So you got two guys that are big pieces of their particular teams right now. It's a fair trade, straight up.
Who do you think's playing better right now, though? Brown?
Well, if he's healthy, yeah. But you say the same thing with Giannis if he's healthy.
Well, Brown's been more consistent the last couple of years. They talked about how they were leaning on Tatum all the time in the playoffs. Jaylen Brown's been balling out the entire year. And then you look at Giannis because of his injuries. But how do you not go after Giannis and make that trade? And if he can stay healthy, how he helps or improves that team. Yeah, fair trade, but a lot of the Milwaukee Buck fans are probably saying, well, we got Brown. We can't keep Giannis. But, I just sit there and go, okay, Giannis, 13 years in the league. Brown, 8 years in the league? And Brown has really played so well the last couple of years. And I'm sure he'd hate to leave Boston on top of it, going to the finals a couple of years ago, being in the hunt the last couple of years, and then going to Milwaukee, who really struggled, they're looking for a new head coach as well, too. They're looking to shake up their organization. And what are they going to look like, once Giannis goes? How much is he going to help them, that being Brown, this Milwaukee Bucks team? So if you're the Celtics fan, you might have a little heartburn, or you might enjoy Giannis coming over to the fold.
All right, luckily, we're going to talk some Suns today as they made some moves over the weekend. D-backs, they lost a series to Minnesota. They are in St. Louis as they'll get going tonight at 4:30, or at least preseason or pre-game will start at 4:30. Game will start just after 5. You'll be able to hear that on Arizona Sports. Coming up, Wyndham Clark, he hung on to win his second U.S. Open. Give him a lot of credit for handling the crowd there. A lot of you make fun of my Philadelphia fans. I think New York fans are even worse. What we saw over the weekend in New York. So we'll get into that. Also, some other news and notes when it comes to the rewind. We got a home run montage in Philly, and then Messi had 2 goals today as Argentina took care of business and shut out Austria 2-0. So we'll play those 2 for you as well. We're just getting started. Roc and Manuch with you today here on Arizona Sports' little sister station, ESPN 620.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selection. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof.
We get it. A meal shouldn't cost you nearly $20. And we agree. At Venezia's Pizzeria, lunch or dinner for under $10 is still a thing. And for an even sweeter deal, stop in and grab a Slice Rewards card. Get a stamp for every qualifying Slice special. 10 visits, 1 free qualifying special. Simple. And every Tuesday, we double your stamps. That's your free pizza twice as fast. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition with great rewards.
Hi, I'm Johnny Erickson Tata, and you're invited to the 12th annual Walk with Enoch, a fun-filled event led by my friend Enoch, a 14-year-old boy who lives with autism. Join us June 27th from 9 to 1 p.m. at the Ability 360 indoor track. You'll help special needs families find rest and renewal at our Johnny and Friends family retreats. Come walk with us. Visit johnnyandfriends.org/walk for details.
At the Y, strength means something different. It means people of all ages being together. It means you can be swishing the game-winning shot, learning to plie in first position, jabbing, crossing, and hooking a punching bag, canoeing in the lake at summer camp, donating food for your neighbors, watching your son learn about water safety in the pool. 175 years later, there's still no place like this place. Get involved at your Y. Learn more at ymca.org.
Now it's time for our replay rewind. The top sounds of the night and whatever Rock decides to add. Let's get to it in Replay Rewind with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620 and on FM at 98.7 HD-2.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, line drive down the right field. Line, big ball. That thing's headed towards the corner. Troy scores. Haven scores. Here's the goal route for Perdomo. Throw to the plate, not in time. And Carroll, a bases clearing triple, makes it a 9-5 ball game. All right, not the best weekend for the D-backs as they fell 2-3. The Minnesota Twins got just bombarded on Saturday night. They were down 16-0 at one point. And, of course, tons of injuries, and we'll dive into that a little bit later. But we're doing our Replay Rewind now, which is brought to you by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. Got to give a lot of credit for Wyndham Clark, as he was just getting his ass given to them by the
Oh
fans.
my gosh.
And it's such BS that they couldn't have done a better job of taking care of that. I know they were exiting people throughout the day, both days, but it was clear. And I mean, I think the announcers could have jumped on it a little bit more.
I would agree with that.
You have an opportunity
I
to
agree.
embarrass a fan base and embarrass a city. Do it. I mean, it was clear that these people, and it wasn't just a couple, it was multiple people that were just complete a-holes that were all over this guy. Now, I can see if this was on European soil, but it's on American soil. He's an American. You know, I know people love Scotty Scheffler, but just the fact that you're booing and you're cheering when he hits it in the sand and you're doing everything. I watched every single swing of him in the last 2 days. And just every time you had a gallery that just spent the entire freaking afternoon rooting against another guy in the final group. Now, I'm glad Wyndham Clark held off the heckling. Even Sam Burns was in there too. It was great to see that he got a second U.S. Open in 4 years. He went wire to wire. It was a great time just sitting back. I'm sure many of you Father's Day had an opportunity to sit there. But I'm sorry, when you look at the New York fans and what they did, there's no excuse for it.
And I'm glad that Mike Tirico addressed it and asked him about it after when we needed the trophy presentation. He just said, hey, look, you know, I can appreciate that. I just stayed focused, cleared through it. He goes, I apologize several times for my behavior last year at the Open with breaking the locker room up. I mean, he can only apologize for so much. For these fans just to be unruly or knuckleheads. I mean, you could hear it's very clear on just about every shot he had. But I too, Rock, I commend him. His caddy kept him focused. He handled a couple of shots. That the second shot at 16 and then the birdie at 16. And then they go bogey and then come back and get that long putt and make the par. I mean, I do commend that young man for just keeping his wits about him, staying focused. And as I like to say, for a lot of young quarterbacks out there, ignore the noise and just focus at the task at hand. And he did that.
So let's play that cut. Let's go that last cut there, Laz, of when he was asked. I mean, he was clearly he was the villain in his own victory.
Yeah, New York didn't really like me. I love you guys, but you know, I get it. You know, some of it's self-deserved. I did some unfortunate things last year that I really regret, and I'm been sorry multiple times, and I'm still sorry. So hopefully, I can win you guys over eventually. But I get it. They root for Scotty. Grand Slams only happened a few times, so he's gonna get it. I mean, he's the best player in the world. But today it's my day.
And then here he is on the winning moment. Sorry, that was the final call there. But Wyndham Clark gets himself a second U.S. Open, and it was pretty cool that he knew his dad was there. And, of course, right when he won, his dad came running out. But that was pretty class.
Yeah, it was cool. His dad flew in. Didn't know his dad was going to be there.
Is that what I just said?
You said he was there, but you can give the whole story. His dad flew in on the red eye to surprise him. You made it sound like, well, he's there. No, he just came in that. He got
said
a couple
his
hours.
dad, he didn't know his dad was going to be there.
No, he did. But the thing is great Dad's Day present. But I'll tell you what, he handled that with class. That last clip that we heard, class. He acknowledged the fans. I thought that was very classy. He played along with it and was kind of, hey, look, my bad, but I've apologized several times. But I just thought the way he handled that, if those fans in New York don't get one over by Wyndham Clark, the way he handled all of that, then they're not going to, nobody would ever win those individuals over.
All right, we know who the player of the week in baseball is. It's got to be Kyle Schwarber. He had 4 home runs in the final 2 days of the Mets series. He now leads the National League in all of baseball with 29 home runs. He also had 5 home runs for the week. Here is a little montage of 3 of them, right? 3 of them.
The 2-1 pitch. Schwarber tees off again. There's the second one of the inning into the second deck. Holy Schwarber. Oh boy. Did he get a third towards the corner? It is gone. 3 home run game from Babe Schwarber.
So on Saturday,
Schwarber's done it again. And a mammoth way.
So Saturday they win 15-3. He goes 4 for 5, 4 runs, 3 homers, 6 RBI, hits 2 homers in the same inning. And then on Sunday they win again. They win 6-2, 2 runs, a homer, and 3 RBIs, and he walks 1. So what a weekend! 5 for 8, 4 homers, 9 RBIs, and 6 runs scored. He is one of the, if not top player in baseball. However, he is probably the most underrated power hitter of his generation. You don't hear him mentioned with Ohtani or Judge or Betts or Soto, and it's just unfortunate because the guy, he continues to just be a constant. You talk about consistency all the time, and he's a constant performer. And he's batting average maybe 245 or whatever it is, but man, the guy gets on base, he scores runs, and he leads all of baseball in homers.
The other thing too, Rock, he's one of the most clutch hitters in Major League Baseball. And Harper's right behind him. Harper's getting on fire right now as well too.
Yeah, let's play last night. Here's Harper. He had a hit for the cycle.
Harper to left center field, headed for the gap, and it's headed for the wall. He's at least going to get 2. We got to try for 3, don't you? Here he goes, looking for the cycle. It'll depend on how they score it. Harper into third with what looks like it's going to be a triple and the cycle.
Imagine both those guys getting hot at the same time during a period of time. But I agree with you with Schwarber. I mean, I've watched this young man for several years, and he is a home run waiting to happen almost every at bat. His swing is one of the nicest strokes that I've seen in a long, long time. I think the other guy that Trout's always another one of those guys that they talk about. But Schwarber, yeah, he's been so consistent. And then the 3 dingers, I watched that third inning on Saturday and went, okay, that's it. This game's over. But just to watch his consistency and watch this Phillies team, who had lost, they lose 11 games in a row early on in the year before they fired their manager. This team is now hot. And to see Schwarber I just love watching his swings because he does not get cheated on any of his swings that he had, especially his home run swing.
So 20 years after making his World Cup debut in 2006, Messi has gone from a teenage substitute to the tournament's all-time leading scorer. He's 38 years old. He had 2 today. Of course, we know last week he had the hat trick. He's playing his 6th World Cup, which extended his own tournament appearance record. He has 18 goals, which makes him the highest scorer across both men and women in World Cups. And he did it again today as they took care of business in the Group J against Austria. And they're now 2-0 with 2 wins and 6 points. Here's both his goals from today.
An Argentina attack. Here's Almada on the move for the world champions. Now Medina. Pull back here. Let's it run. History does. 40 years to the day since Diego Maradona scored the hand goal. Lionel Messi scores the goal to make him the World Cup's all-time leading scorer. Here come Argentina. Brilliant ball by Messi. Brilliant Alvarez, good save. There's the chance though for Paredes. He tees up Messi. Is this another one? Lionel Messi, there's the block. And Messi again. Lionel Messi in the double. Argentina get the win. And the little Magic gets his second goal of the game.
Little Messi, and he had an opportunity for another goal as he had a free kick and missed it. He doesn't miss many of them, but just give him the golden boot now as the top player who scores the most goals in a tournament. He's clearly he's doing it, and he still has one more game in this group tournament, but then we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, it's amazing he missed that free kick. He couldn't believe it. Neither could the fans. But the first goal he got, the not great pass from the left winger to give it to him, and wide open. The defense nowhere to be found, but just truly amazing to watch this guy. Just continue how quick he is, how fast he is with his feet. But good for him, and more to come before he'll crush this record by the time the World Cup's over.
All right, today's Replay Rewind is brought to you by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck, need a check, make one call. That's all, 602-977-1900, and always at lernerandrowe.com. All right, the U.S. is into the knockout round. We're going to catch up Phoenix Rising's Joe Lowry. He is in Los Angeles. He's covering it. He'll break down the win over Australia and what has to happen on Thursday with Turkey. That's next right here on ESPN Radio 620.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs dropped 2-3 to the Twins over the weekend, but that wasn't the worst of it as Arizona's injury concerns continue to pile up. Starters Ryan Nelson and Michael Soroka are both expected to miss an extended period of time with injuries. Snakes will look to bounce back, though, as they now hit the road to open a 3-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Milt Kelly will get the start tonight for Arizona. The first pitch is set for 4:45, with pregame coverage getting underway at 4 on 98.7 FM, also streaming live on the Arizona Sports app. Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Nobody. 3 to 6 p.m., Michelob Ultra and Bud Light drafts, tequila cocktails, top shelf spirits over ice balls, local craft beers, and those famous 29-degree drafts, paired with scratch-made bites that actually satisfy. When it comes to happy hour, Twin Peaks doesn't play.
The biggest soccer tournament on the planet is going on, and there's no better place to catch every match than Twin Peaks. Watch all the action on wall-to-wall TVs with ice-cold 29-degree draft beer, made from scratch food, and game day specials all tournament long. Twin Peaks is going unmatched for every match through July 19th. Cheer on Team USA or your favorite country at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. $5 locations. When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit staycool-products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat.
I work for the Arizona Department of Public Safety Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Unit. Any idea why I stopped you today?
No, sir.
I stopped you for distracted driving. Arizona law prohibits the use of electronic devices unless they're hands-free. Truck drivers see everything, except their blind spots. Cutting off a truck is like cutting off a freight train. It's dangerous, so stay focused on the road. Visit sharetheroadaz.com to learn how to drive truck smart.
Sponsored by the Arizona Trucking Association Foundation and the Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Social connection keeps your brain strong. So does a challenge. When you stay socially and mentally active, your mind stays engaged, and you might even lower your risk of dementia. Learn something new, pick up a hobby, or catch up with a friend. Up to 40% of dementia cases could be prevented or delayed by addressing risk factors like loneliness and inactivity of the mind. Explore alz.org/healthy habits for more tips. This message is sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association and the Arizona Department of Health Services.
Your brain is powerful. It helps you learn, create, and become who you're meant to be. But too much screen time or drugs can make it harder to focus, stay motivated, or even feel like yourself. And over time, your brain needs more of that stimulation just to feel normal. What you do now matters. You've got one brain, take care of it. Learn more at loveyourbrainaz.com. Sponsored by the Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Cats are masters at using up their 9 lives, like chasing laser pointers into walls or jumping onto high shelves. But the one thing cats never do, text while driving. So be like a cat and protect your one and only life. Don't text and drive.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
After picture review, the goal scorer was not in offside position. And the building shakes in Seattle. Alex Freeman's third international goal for the U.S. He is onside, and he reacts first to this ball. Doesn't stop Patrick Beach is on the floor, and it's Freeman from close range, beats him. The right punch almost coming, but it's Freeman who punches it home for the United States' second goal to give them a 2-goal cushion from almost going off the field to staying on the field. What a moment for that young man, 21 years old.
That's right, Alex Freeman. His 43rd minute header made it 2-0, and they all go on to beat Australia on Friday, that being USA 2-0. Joining us now from Los Angeles, Phoenix Rising Color analyst. He's also for Backheel.com and the Total Soccer Show. Joe Lowry joins us now on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Joe, Roc and Manuch again. What's going on, my friend?
How we doing, Joe?
Hey, thanks for having me back, fella.
Appreciate it, man. So, USA already through the knockout round after two games. First time in modern year. They've clinched this early. How impressed are you with this group right now?
Yeah, the team has done things that I don't really think many people outside of their walls thought they could so far this summer. That started with that gigantic win over Paraguay, a historically dominant performance. The U.S. at SoFi Stadium last Friday, and then missing Christian Pulisic now as they have for most of this tournament. 3 of the 4 halves of soccer the U.S. has played has been without Pulisic so far. Missing Pulisic in Seattle last Friday against Australia. The U.S. put in another impressive first 45 minutes. So they were dominant in that game, missing their best attacking player. The U.S. is playing entertaining, enthralling soccer. They're playing winning soccer. And now they've done something that they've never done before in program history, which is book a spot in the knockout round for the game to be played in the group stage.
But Pulisic, do you think if his calf is really a challenge right now, do you keep him out on Thursday just for safety purposes?
Yeah, it's a luxurious position to be in, right?
Yeah.
But the U.S. has the ability to sort of ask themselves that question. Pulisic was training in the portion of U.S. training open to media earlier on today. That is new, right? Pulisic did not train with the team at all, that media were privy to anyway, in the build-up from the Paraguay game to the Australia game, so that he is training now at one of the first hurdles ahead of this game on Thursday is a really good sign for the U.S. With that being said, I don't think you want to give him a lot of minutes if he is able to go on Thursday against Turkey, but I do think you want to give him a little bit of time to let him build back some rhythm. Calf injuries can be tricky in that way. I think if you give him 10, 15 minutes at the end of that game, I wouldn't start him by any means. But if you give him just a little bit of time to get back up to form and fitness ahead of the knockouts, I think that's the sweet spot.
Joe, it's interesting. You watched that Australia game. What was Burgess thinking when he actually kicked that ball in? I mean, why would he go toward his foot facing his own goal? I mean, I watched that over and over again. I didn't understand what he was thinking at that particular point in time.
Yeah, so I think it has to start earlier in that sequence for the U.S. It's a really intricate piece of possession from the United States where they draw out the right-sided defender for Australia on that sequence, and they send for Lauren Balogun, the guy who forces that own goal, the guy who scored a brace in the opener for the U.S. against Paraguay, one of the absolute stars of this team who's really stepped up for that Pulisic. Balogun then sees that there's an opportunity with the right-sided defender for Australia out of position. He sees that chance to go and run in behind it. He does so and gets on the ball and goes and is able to turn so gracefully and drive forward. At that point, you have, if you're Australia, a U.S. striker driving towards your back line, and you're not prepared for it, right? You're out of shape. You're not prepared for what's happening in that moment. And so Australia start to sprint back towards their own goal to protect themselves because they have to get numbers back inside their box. And as that happens, the cutback is so skillful and the entire bit of buildup there from the U.S. is so effective that Cameron Burgess does not have an opportunity to sort his feet out because everything has happened so quickly. He can't turn and face away from his own goal because he's still tracking back. So it all happened so fast for Australia. It really was, to me, a testament to how well-drilled this U.S. attack looks. And again, they've been better in that phase than I think just about anybody expected.
So they get Turkey on Thursday, and they're in Los Angeles at SoFi. I think it's 7 o'clock our time. Is there any path left for Turkey? And what needs to happen for USA here?
Yeah, so Turkey are officially eliminated from this tournament. They are sitting on 0 points. They have no opportunity to advance to the round of 32. And conversely, for the U.S., they're already through. And they're already through in the top spot in Group D. So there's no mobility for them to move up any higher. They're just simply waiting on who their opponent is going to be for the round of 32. That's not to say that there aren't some objectives for that game on Thursday, right? First of all, there are 4 U.S. players who, if they pick up another yellow card in that game, will miss the round of 32 game. So you want to be absolutely careful about not letting those players see the field if you're Mauricio Pochettino. I'd be very surprised if we saw any of Lauren Balogun, Tyler Adams, Chris Richards, or Anthony Robinson play for the U.S. on Thursday. Those are the 4 dealing with yellow card accumulation risk ahead of the knockouts. That's one bit of it. The other bit is, can you give Pulisic a little bit of time like we talked about? And then finally,
can you maybe give some minutes to players that, who knows, if the tournament continues for the U.S., you might need later on, maybe due to injury, maybe due to card suspension, something of that nature. Can you give those guys a run out to help them understand what the game is like at this stage? For me, those are the three objectives, along with just staying healthy for this U.S. team.
So, like being fans of football and baseball and basketball and things of that sort, this normally doesn't happen where you have a game that means absolutely nothing. I mean, it seems like a bad system to me. If I got tickets for USA and Turkey, and I paid all this money and knowing I'm going to go to an exhibition game, basically, or a friendly, that means nothing, right? It's a crappy situation. It's a crappy situation. I got a buddy yesterday calls me and he's like, "Hey, I got tickets for Father's Day. I'm going to SoFi." I'm like, "All right, have fun.
Have fun."
This game means nothing. I mean, it sucks.
Yeah, this game was supposed to be the marquee matchup for the U.S. of the group stage. Turkey was the team that I think everybody was most afraid of coming in. These are situations that the U.S. is not accustomed to being in.
Mm-hmm.
It is not normal for the U.S. This is the first time ever that they have booked a spot in the knockout rounds with a game to spare. This has literally never happened for the United States at the World Cup before. It's a position of privilege. And this is a contrast of how other nations that expect to make deep runs at tournaments that matter, like the World Cup, there's a huge difference between how those nations and fans of those nations think about the group stage and how U.S. fans on the men's side have typically had to think of the group stage. It's much more this summer like fans of the U.S. women's national team would experience rather than the men's side, where if you're a fan of the U.S. women, you're not really worried about the group stage. And at this tournament, it turns out that U.S. men's fans did not need to be worried about the group stage. It is a weird situation. Undoubtedly, I would be disappointed if I paid big money to have a ticket to this game. There's no way around it. Still, the World Cup is never going to change this beginning format. I think the perspective, though, of U.S. fans, should more World Cups continue like this one, that's what's going to have to change.
This is interesting because I'm sure Mauricio Pochettino is probably caught between a rock and a hard place. And, Joe, I liken this to National Football League. You're going to the playoffs, the first round. So what do you do the last game? But also stay sharp so you don't risk guys enough to where they come out. Where another team that's on a roll. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like damned if I do, damned if I don't. So which way do you think he leans on this to get some playing time in, but yet again, quasi-rest them?
Yeah, and first of all, on that front, to go back to the sort of, the flaw in the system, I will say, you mentioning American football there sparks my memory. You're playing a week 18 game in the NFL these days. Maybe it's not going to matter, right?
Sure.
Maybe you shell out money for that. You're playing a late regular season game in the NBA where you're seeing stars rested. I don't think that this situation at the World Cup is unique to soccer by any stretch of the imagination. Though I would, again, echo disappointment in all of those situations. If you're Mauricio Pochettino for this game coming up on Thursday, I think the thing you have to be thinking about is how can I make sure that my best players are healthy and available for this game coming up in the knockout rounds that the U.S. is going to have in Santa Clara at Levi Stadium on Wednesday, July 1st. How can I be in that situation? And so I think that means you have to sacrifice some momentum. You have to sacrifice some rhythm. I don't think you have another choice. Four starters are on that yellow card risk, like I mentioned. Those guys cannot play. There's absolutely there would be no excuse to give those guys minutes and put them at risk. And I think that sort of has to inform the rest of the game plan. It's not ideal, right? It's not ideal, but it is ideal to be through, right? And so you have to balance both of those things at the same time. If you're Pochettino, rotation has to be the move for this game on Thursday. There's just no other route here.
So July 1st, Santa Clara, round 32. Do you know, or who do you think it could be at this point?
Yeah. So the most likely option here, and this is where I'll happily say, as I said when I came on last time, that the format of this particular World Cup is flawed. 32 teams in the knockout stage for the first time ever at the World Cup, 48-team World Cup for the first time ever. We've never been in this situation before. That means finding the knockout round permutations are complicated. In some teams, it's simple, where first-place teams get second-place teams from other groups. But for the U.S., they're one of the teams that has a complicated route. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is complicated. The U.S. is going to get a third-place team from one of the groups. Now, which group that is, we don't yet know. But the most likely option for the U.S. at this round of 32 stage is that they will play the third-place team from Group B. Should one of those teams actually emerge to the knockout, that is likely to be either Qatar or Bosnia and Herzegovina. Both of those games against either one of those teams would be absolutely in the U.S.'s favor.
Okay.
There are other possibilities that are much less favorable. The U.S. could end up with a team from Group E, which, if that's the third-place team right now, would be Ecuador. Who are one of the staunchest defensive teams in South American qualifying. They have real, legitimate world-class talent at a number of positions. Or you could be looking at a team like Senegal, depending on how things go in Group I later on today. They're in a group with Norway and France, which is extremely tough sledding as well. the U.S. really do want Bosnia-Herzegovina or Qatar, but there are other permutations that could make their life way, way more difficult here.
So, Joe, what do you like about this team moving forward, and where does this team really need to improve on moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, the attack has been the most impressive bit here, certainly for the U.S. Their ability to go and create chances against teams that pride themselves on defensive stability, that has been the thing that has stood out the most. And for them to do it with Christian Pulisic on the field for only a quarter of the tournament, of their tournament, so far is something that I don't think anybody was truly prepared for. The other thing that's been impressive is just the intensity and defensive efforts that this group has shown, sort of classically American tendencies that they've become synonymous really with American soccer. It's sort of like an upgraded version of that, where you're getting a lot of the defensive effort, where you're coupling it with some of the attacking danger that's made this team so effective under Mauricio Pochettino so far. I think the concern, and this shines through a little bit in the second half against Australia, is the defense, where, two of the three players who are really playing as center backs for this team in a lot of phases of the game, one of them is the youngest player in the squad, Alex Freeman, just 21 years old, very, very bright future, but he's still a bit raw. And another one is Tim Ream, 38 years old, the oldest player in the squad. He does not have the open field speed to deal with a lot of the attackers that could be coming his way in the knockout rounds. If there was an area to worry about for this U.S. group, and I don't know that there's a lot that can be done to fix it, but that is the concern area, is what happens in the middle of the defense.
It's good stuff, man. Appreciate you. Before we let you go, Messi, 2 more goals today, just a remarkable player. And, in basketball, it's the Michael Jordans, LeBron James. In the NFL, there's some of those players too. For somebody like you that you live and die this sport, is it all Messi, or is there like 2 other guys that you kind of look up to? Because it seems like most people that are, novice, they love Messi, and then it's all about Messi. But are there a couple other players that people really need to be looking at that don't get the attention that Messi does?
Yeah, first of all, Messi is the greatest player that the sport has ever seen. I think you can make a legitimate argument that he is the greatest men's athlete of all time.
Okay.
He is unbelievable, and that he's still doing this at turning 39 in 2 days is unreal, and just cements his legacy even more. He is must watch. What I will say is that if folks out there listening, I would say the 2 that you should be tuning into. One is Kylian Mbappe for France. He is going to go down as the all-time World Cup leading goal scorer. Maybe not this summer, but maybe in 4 years' time.
Losing him.
Mbappe and his speed, he is amazing. Another option would be Harry Kane for England.
Yeah.
To play up top. His ability to go and create chances, but also be a goal scorer. Those are players that if you're just getting into the World Cup this summer, you should be watching.
Good stuff, Joe. Appreciate it, man. Have some fun out there. Appreciate your time again today.
Thanks for having me.
That's Joe Lowry joining us, of course, Phoenix Rising color analyst. You can follow him at Joe C. Lowry. He's also working with backheel.com and the Total Soccer Show. When it comes to game day pizza in Arizona, Venencia's makes it easy. 7 locations across the valley. Order online at Venencias.com. All right, Saturday, July 4th will be here. It's just around the corner. Westworld of Scottsdale. They're throwing the biggest party in the valley, capped with the largest fireworks display in Scottsdale history. We are sending you there as we have 4 4-packs to give away. We'll tell you all about that when we come back. It's Roc and Manuch today, here from the ESPN Radio 620 studios.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Living in the Valley of the Sun means we're always battling the heat on the golf course, at work, or just getting through the day. To stay sharp, you need more than energy. You need hydration. You need Phoenix Hydration Energy. Spelled Phoenix, like the city we love. Phoenix gives you clean, natural energy from green tea, plus 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. No crash, no junk, just pure performance. Grab Phoenix Hydration Energy today at 7-Eleven, Quick Trip, or Circle K. Phoenix Hydration Energy. Rise up.
Now open in North Scottsdale. It's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs. Right off Thompson Peak and Bell, next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, a one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at orangedalelounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
Don't be fooled by the people you meet on social media. It may start as an innocent conversation, but anyone who tries to sell you pills or powders is nothing more than a drug dealer. And if you think tiny amounts can't do much harm, think again. Fentanyl can end it all. Know the truth about fentanyl at learnmoreaz.org. Don't be fooled. Don't be faked out. Visit learnmoreaz.org. Sponsored by Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B want to take you back. A quick reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture. Now, time for your Right Toyota on this day report. Right Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Right Toyota in Scottsdale.
All right, before we get to on this day, we're sending you to the biggest 4th of July celebration in the Valley. And we have four packs of tickets to Scottsdale's 13th annual 4th of July celebration. It's at Westworld in Scottsdale. It's from 5 to 9. July 4th falls on a Saturday. It's the largest fireworks display in Scottsdale history. It's going to light up the McDowell Mountains right there at 9 o'clock. You got the Lerner Row rodeo going on. You got some bull riding, the mutton busting for the kids. M. Culinary's Backyard Barbecue. They're the ones, of course, do all the hospitality at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Cold beer and cheeseburgers. They got a slider eating contest. Got a kid zone. You got the Right Toyota Parade of Heroes. So we got 4 winners, 4 tickets each. We'll email them straight to you. So if you want in, we'll take callers 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the phone number is 602-230-0620. That's 602-230-0620. And heads up, it's a cashless event. So if you're going to go, make sure you bring your card. And you'll be red, white, and cool, of course, with Roc and Manuch. I'll be out there emceeing it. So or at least some of it. I don't know. I get asked to do it all the time. I don't like emceeing.
You do a great job, Rob.
No, you love it.
Well, I love it. I was born to MC.
I was asked to do it last year, so I'm probably going to get asked this year. Yeah. But I haven't decided if I'm in town or not.
Well, you made the Channel 12 News last year. I remember that. You were all over the place. I said, wow, there's Roc. I rolled it back, took photos.
Yeah.
Front and center. Hey, Roc.
Yeah.
What kind of star are you out there at West
Scottsdale 4th with the number th.com if you want tickets. It's a great event. They've been doing it for a long time. I've been involved the last few years. Our entertainment does a great job. And it's a lot of fun. A lot of celebrities. Got a bunch of NFL players there last year.
I remember that.
So 602-230-0620. All right. On this day, June 22nd, we'll go all the way back. Where are we going to go? We'll go all the way back to 1908. Wow. Honus Wagner's recorded his 2000 hit. But 82, we may remember, I know I do, Pete Rose passed Hank Aaron for second on the Major League Baseball hits list. 93, Carlton Fisk sets a Major League record for games caught. And for the hockey crowd, 1979, the NHL absorbed the 4 WH teams, if you remember there.
Yes, Western Hockey League.
Yep, it was the Oilers, the Whalers, and Redicks, and the Jets. And the Oilers brought a kid named Wayne Gretzky, yes, and won 5 cups over the next 11 years.
It's interesting because I did follow them a little bit. We had the Roadrunners, Phoenix Roadrunners here in those days, and you saw that. And I think that there was a few of the NHL guys that had retired then went over to the WHL and played a few extra games, a couple extra years there.
All right, that's On This Day brought to you by Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price, Wright Toyota. Just a little nugget. John Kitna on this day threw for 401 yards and scored 2 scores for the Barcelona Dragons and won the World Bowl in 1997. Yeah, back to the old World League days. I was an intern for the Columbus team, but they were actually the Ohio Glory, and spent a little time, worked a couple game days for them when I was in grad school in Ohio.
I remember going back to the early 80s, mid-80s when the European pro football was there. I think Kurt Warner was over there. A lot of quarterbacks went over there. They got some.
Kurt went over there?
Yeah, Kurt was over there in the World League, Euro League for a couple of years. And then there was a few other quarterbacks that just needed reps. And it's not like I've got 3 guys over there right now, Corey Lyles, Rocky Lombardi, and Cam Yao. They're over there playing in the Euro League. It's not like the old, European League like they used to have, because that was something like a feeder going into the National Football League. So John Kitna got some reps. He started there, got a chance to come over and play the National Football League. There were several other players and quarterbacks that played, but that was summer league football. It's kind of like the UFL now, because that UFL replaced the NFL and USFL, and then the EuroLeague replaced the USFL after the USFL folded. So you get a chance to go play abroad, just get reps. That helps immensely for a lot of these NFL scouts.
So also a recap when it comes to Brandon Ayuk. We talked about him. We talked about him about a week ago when it came to police blotter, I think.
Yep.
Well, he's openly campaigning to get the heck out of San Francisco, and he wants to go to Washington. As last night on Instagram, he shouted on Instagram, "Go Commanders, go Commanders, raise hail, take command." And he posted a picture of Mark Rippon posted in Lombardi after Washington won the Super Bowl.
The Brandon Ayuk is just, he's a knucklehead. The way he's going about all this is just there. I'm going to say it right here. There's some serious mental irregularities, in my opinion, with this young man. The way he's going about all the things he was doing, the speeding ticket, filming himself speeding, going by the 49ers complex, doing that. And then there's been other issues. He's been calling out the 49ers. He just needs to just shut up, just chill, and have your agent go out there and talk to these teams about working out a trade. I don't think he realizes this, but he's still under contract with the San Francisco 49ers, making about, $25, $30 million a year, even though they've held on to that money because of him non-reporting. Brandon Ayuk just continues to dig himself a deeper and deeper and deeper hole. And I don't know who's advising this young man. They might be, Rock, but he's just not adhering to the advisement of just be quiet, get your act together mentally, because at this age, at this rate, nobody's going to want to touch him.
I disagree. He's getting a name. I agree about him being, as you say, knucklehead.
Yeah.
But it just seems in the NFL, if you're a dumbass wide receiver, you're going to find yourself a job. We can name 20 guys that are doing stuff like this, and they all find jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, every wideout, they're all divas, and they all seem to find a home. And Brandon Ayuk will probably find a home with the Washington Commanders,
you know what?
and still make $20, $30 million. He had a 4-year, $120 million contract with the 49ers. So, I mean, you can say all you want is you're the guy, get off my lawn. But seriously, this guy's going to find himself a job.
It's interesting you bring that
sucks.
up. It does suck. You're right. I think of Antonio Brown. I think of Andre Rison. We talked about Andre Rison. I can go on and on and on. And it's okay. We can fix some mentality with a lot of these general managers and coaches. Now, you saw that when Randy Moss and Ocho Cinco got to the Patriots. They did great. They minded their manners because Bill Belichick kept them in check. With Ayuk, I don't know, Dan Quinn, I would hope if he goes there.
Do it.
Yeah,
when you got guys like Keyshawn, you remember? He wrote a book. Just give me the damn ball.
Stole me a damn ball, Rock. Amazing. You're right, Rock.
They're going to find a job.
I will concur. It doesn't make it right, but they continue to do it.
All right, the Cardinals could steal a former first-round quarterback from Minnesota for pocket change. And we take our swings on the quarterback room this hour. We got 1996 U.S. Open champ Steve Jones. He will stop by, talk about the U.S. Open. And the D-backs weekend series loss and the injury fallout. That's all in hour number 2. Appreciate you hanging out with us. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. We're on FM at 98.7, HD-2, YouTube as well, and always on the Arizona Sports app.
Temperatures are rising, and so are AC costs. But Collins Comfort Masters can help you stay cool without breaking the bank. Get a new high-efficiency Lennox AC system installed for as low as $99 a month. Serious comfort at a seriously cool price. Collins Comfort Masters has served the Valley for over 40 years. Call 480-NO-WORRY or visit collinscomfort.com to schedule today. Collins Comfort Masters, your no-worry solution for air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, and water filtration.
You know, it's been more than a century that Ford has been here for those who build America, for those who believe that giving everything we've got today will pay off tomorrow. If that's who you are, then Ford believes that you should pay what Ford employees pay. American value, literally, for American values. Hey, Paul Galvis here, and it's here at our Desert Ford dealers. Employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Remember, Ford is the #1 selling truck brand in Arizona. So on a 2026 Ford F-150, do not miss employee pricing plus $1,000 cash back on a 2026 Ford F-150, or get employee pricing plus $2,000 cash back on a Ford Explorer and 2025 Ford Bronco while it lasts at our Desert Ford dealers. Just click buyfordnow.com. Based on S&P Global Mobility, retail U.S. new vehicle registrations for the truck vehicle type CYTD October 2025.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views. Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620. Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
All right, we gave some tickets away to the Scottsdale 4th of July celebration at Westworld, big fireworks show. And winners, Glenn Sacca, Raymond C-Slack. That's a tough one. Casey White got that one down. And Beth DeAugustine.
That's a McClintock Charger.
Oh, really?
Circa 1975 graduating class.
Staged or something?
No,
no. What's going on there,
I told her I'd give her a hard time for you, Manuch, so.
Yeah, who doesn't give me a hard time? But her twin sister, Kay, her lovely sister, Patty, the Augustine family, McClintock.
Got the ladies from McClintock tuning in today.
You know, it's kind of the quarterback back in the day.
What it is.
You know how that is?
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
I'm not. Whoa.
How we doing these days?
No. Hey, his nose is still the same size as it was in 76.
Yeah, I grew up around now. Me and Rock have got great faces for radio now, Beth. So
No, I don't want any part of that. We'll have another 4-pack of tickets to give away hopefully in 3 o'clock hour. we don't do it today, we'll do it tomorrow on, we used to call it Fat Tuesday, Fan Appreciation Tuesday. So maybe we'll do it tomorrow. Just don't know if you and Jimmy B can do this without me.
Oh, yeah, we
You guys
can.
aren't. No, that's why we don't do contests when I'm not on the air. I'm off on Tuesdays.
Just lay it out there. We've handled contests before, have we not, Laz? We've handled it pretty good.
Lads who write
I
your
can
checks.
take care of it back here.
Oh, whatever.
There you
All
go.
right.
Unlike that
Yes.
Kentucky Derby raffle where
Dude.
but we don't talk about that
No,
anymore.
we do. We have to. This is the lesson to Radio 101. So we did a contest for the Kentucky Derby where you had to call in, and we basically had 14 horses or 15, whatever it was.
Yes.
You
We had a
called
lot
in,
of callers.
and you had to give us a name or a number, and then that horse basically, or that number squared up to one of the horses randomly. So if you said, number 7, you got whatever horse that was.
Sure.
So these people called in, and Laz took their names, but that's it.
Problem is, I didn't get their numbers or their emails.
So there's no way to tell
way to get a
them.
hold of them.
Yeah, so we still don't know who won. We had like hundreds of dollars of gift cards or something we were going to give.
Easy.
So we really screwed that up. Well, Laz really screwed up, but the problem is, I know some people have called to the station, and a couple of people have, and then they've been directed to me, and I just sent them the I think Twin Peaks, or no, it was Orangedale gift cards or whatever it was. And that was just a pretty big problem.
So
that you would have thought that down at the University of Arizona, they would
Harvard of the
teach you
West,
that.
baby.
They would teach you that, definitely not the Harvard of the West. They would have taught you Radio 101 when you're doing a contest. You take their numbers down. You take their emails down. So when they do win the prize, you can give them the prize.
I'm on it this time.
That a boy, Luther.
Took
Good
it on the
job, buddy.
chin.
For all you aspiring producers, heads up. Professor Rock is in the room.
It's not that hard. It's just not.
We both fell out of our chairs. You told us.
I
didn't get the numbers or their email. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, lesson learned. It
Yeah.
happens.
Hey, well,
Just come down to Orangedale for some trivia and some pop culture bingo. I'll be your host, and we'll get you some more gift cards.
You're not working this week, are you?
Yeah, I am.
When?
Come back. You got to split the G again.
What day are you working?
Tuesday and Wednesday.
So what happened to the A team? I mean, they're on the road.
Chuck's
Diamondbacks are on the
busy
road.
now. I don't know.
Chuck can't do
I
it.
think he's on vacation. He's ditching us. I'm the A team now, Rock.
You're really not.
You're that
Come
freak
on,
like you
dude.
get there on the.
He has to bring his family just to fill seats.
Is that
We had a
right?
good
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
A few drinks in.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you split? You know how to split the G?
Split the G.
There's no way in hell you know what that is.
Rock
Split
did an
the
okay
G.
job. It took him a few seconds too long, but he was close.
How
Do you know what the split the G is?
No, I have no idea. I've never heard that term.
So you
before.
know my dog's name was Guinness from me.
Yes.
So when you get a Guinness glass,
Uh-huh.
it says Guinness
Right.
across on the, and the G, you take a sip,
Uh-huh.
and you need to sip enough to get half of the G.
Oh, I
It's called
see.
split the G.
Split the G.
And there's apps for it. There's all kinds of
You
stuff.
did pretty good. You came very
Yeah,
close.
I've had a lot of practice.
Yeah.
But
He's a pro.
it's it's the tricky choice. So
Rock is a pro, man. He's got that
I
one
wouldn't
down.
say that,
Yeah.
but all right, let's get to what we try to do. Arizona, of course, lost the series to the Minnesota Twins, and the rotation is a mash unit. Brian Nelson, Michael Soroka, both hit the 15-day IL, which is the whole point of today's State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question of the day. Manuch?
You know, when you look at what's going on, kind of sat there and went, you know what? It's going to be pretty hard for this team to aspire to get to the wild card. So our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question of the day is call State 48 Roofing today for a free roof inspection before leaks hit. And it's coming right around the corner of the monsoon.
This week?
Yep. Keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing, Arizona's #1 referred roofer. All you have to do is you can call them at 480-268-4828 or visit state48roofing.com. Here's the question. You can go to @Roc and Manuch on
All right,
Twitter.
just get to it. Jeez,
I'm
land the plane.
I want to give it the proper.
I give you
etiquette.
one chance, one promo to do, and
you can
it's got to be 2 minutes
Okay.
long.
All right, and you can also go to
See, just
Instagram @Roc and Manuch too as well.
You don't even know how to get to Instagram. Why would you even tell other people to do it?
Have the wild card chances diminished for the D-backs now that Soroka and Nelson are both out for an extended period of time? Your first one, yes, greatly, or no, team will persevere. Again, just go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter and @Roc and Manuch on Instagram. So which way would you lean on this, Rock?
I'm not gonna tell you.
I will tell you. I think yes, greatly. The back end, you got your front end guys are pretty much down. You got Soroka down, Ryan Nelson down. You've been struggling with the back end from the get-go. And now you only got 3 starters. So you got Kelly, you've got Erod, and you basically, from that standpoint, it's pretty much that's it. So you look at some of the, because Kelly's really struggling. Erod's really been playing, I think, pitching very, very well. But I know Cabrera came in last night. I thought he was very impressive to watch this young man for 5 innings. So when you watch his team and you think of, okay, where do they go from here? Who do they bring back up? So they bring Brandon Pfaadt back up.
It's not ready.
Not ready. They brought Cabrera up. They thought he did a good job, so he'll be up. So you got 4 games going into this series. You got 7 games you're going to be on the road. And you basically got 4 games set that you're going to have against this St. Louis Cardinals team. So I think when you look at that, they may have a hole or 2 if they decide to go with Cabrera. So you kind of look at all the things that they're going to have to do. And I think more importantly is where are they going to get that consistency we always talk about and how that's going to come. So when you start off like tonight's game, you're going to start off, get it going with Kelly, then Erod, and then there's a big question mark. And then Zach Gallen. My goodness. Now they're going to be forced to keep Zach Gallen.
No, they're not.
Well,
they're going to trade him.
You think they will?
They have to. Come on.
I mean,
he's having a brutal year, 3-6, over a 6 ERA. He ranks dead last among qualified Major League Baseball starters in both ERA and WHIP.
But you got 2 guys
The team is
down.
6-10 when he plays.
Exactly.
No, so they're going to trade him and get a couple guys that can pitch, some young guys, some starters.
I don't think they'd get a washing machine for him right now.
I mean, he is.
I don't either.
He's on a 1-year, $22 million deal, right? So I mean, he got booed off the same field that he was a hero in Game 5 in 2023.
And
you don't boo your guy off like that.
That was amazing to see that just blow up like that.
That just sucks.
But the only thing I'm saying for now, they're going to be forced to keep him when you have 2 starters down.
Well, they got till August 3rd.
Well, they do. They got 2 starters down. I'm surprised Pfaadt. Either he had some issues, major issues for them to send him down to Reno. And with these 2 situations, I haven't seen whether he's been brought up or not. I know Cabrera will probably get one of those holes to fill either versus St. Louis or Tampa Bay. But right now you got is Kelly, Erod, and Gallen. I mean, they're not going to do anything with Gallen right now, not on the 7-game road trip that they've got.
Well, I mean, the runway is short for him. Okay,
absolutely.
We can say it. But
Sure.
if Gallen rides the ship and the D-backs can hang in there, he stays, they buy, right?
Yes.
But if he gets punished and the team continues to fade, that expiring contract gets moved by August 3rd. So the clock is the story now with Zach Gallen was 6 weeks to go before the trade deadline.
Oh, I would agree, Rock. I mean, he's making $8 million this year. The balance gets pushed forward. So I agree with that. I'm just like this guy has just completely lost it. You know, we had Mike Moore on last week, former pitcher for the A's and Detroit Tigers, outstanding pitcher. And we said, what do you attribute what Zach Gallen is going for? And one of the things he kind of just said, well, sometimes the guy's thrown on the wrong day. He's in the wrong spot of the rotation. He said, but sometimes you just lose it. As you get older, you lose it. You got to rely on what works for you, what doesn't work for you. But the one thing that he also mentioned, as did Renee Latchman, we had him on last week, too, former skipper for the Mariners and Marlins, said, you know, these guys are throwing way too many pitches. So he's throwing a lot of pitches on his outing, aside from what he's doing on the side. So I agree. I mean, but right now, I feel this team is stuck with him till they can find another legitimate starter to trade for another legitimate starter. To your point, you've got till August 3rd. But in the meantime, he's just going to have to toe the rope and then just hope he has a decent outing. Because what starts to happen in that clubhouse, those guys on that team are going, oh, my gosh, Zach is pitching again. Heads up. We at least want to have a chance to win. They're having a hard time scoring runs as it is. And if this guy's ERA is over 6 already, then you have to know you got to score at least 5 or at least 4 or 5 runs per game every time he takes the outing. So the D-backs for now, I feel, are stuck with him until they can figure out who the other 2 arms are going to be in that starting rotation.
Yeah, it's time will tell as we continue to have the same narrative for the next 6 weeks.
And then Kelly, he's struggling as well, too. I mean, the only guys that are really...
Baseball's one of those sports. I mean, it's such a long time. I mean, right? The season's so long. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have a guy. It's just like, you know, what we saw on Saturday night. You see it all the time. A team gets blown out by 10, 15, 16 runs. I mean, that happens.
Sure, yeah. That's a
just
one-off
part of the game. Yeah,
it's a one-off.
And Ryan Nelson, I think, is going to be all right. I do. I mean, he's not like Gallen.
Yeah,
I mean, Gallen arguably is just one of the worst pitchers
he's
right now in
struggling.
baseball. That's a prominent starter. The team has only won 6 out of 16 games when he has pitched, and his ERA, well, like I said, is over a 6.
It's been woeful. But on top of that, it looks like Nelson's projected he may not come back till September now.
So it's more than a 15.
Yeah, more than 15. So right,
they got 6 guys on the 60.
Yeah, how does that work? So the 10 days, and they reevaluate. 15 days they reevaluate, and then 60 they reevaluate. Is that okay? I just want to make sure I knew how that.
Yep.
Because if 60 days, that's some of these guys aren't coming back till September.
Yeah, I think if you're on the 60, we're not going to see you. Yeah, I mean, but maybe you never know. All right, here's the irony nobody saw coming. The Cardinals let Kyler Murray walk. He signs with Minnesota, of course, for the minimum, right? Now he's the reason that J.J. McCarthy, the former first-round pick, could be had for a 5th or 7th round pick. And is that a phone call Monty Ossenfort makes? Because then there's Brandon Sorsby, the supplemental draft arm, and of course you're gambling with him. 4 quarterbacks already in the room, 2 more names that are circling, and a starter that is still holding out. How many swings is it too many for before week 1? We're going to break it all down next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on ESPN Radio Phoenix.
Happy hour is happening at Twin Peaks, Monday through Friday, 2 till 6 p.m. With reverse happy hour Sunday through Thursday, 10 till close. Plus, grab 22-ounce Michelob Ultra drafts every Thursday and Saturday, 22-ounce Bud Light drafts every Sunday, and new on Thursdays, $5 Busch Light 16-ounce aluminums. 5 Valley Twin Peak locations, cold beer, scratch-made food, and wall-to-wall sports. Twin Peaks, tell them Roc and Manuch sent ya.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Hey, Arizona State football fans, London is calling. The Sun Devils are headed across the pond to face Kansas in the inaugural Union Jack Classic, September 19th at Wembley Stadium. It's the first college football game ever played there, and you should be part of it. For tickets, hospitality, and travel packages, visit UnionJackClassic.com or contact the Sun Devil ticket office. Join Coach Dillingham, Sparky, and the Sun Devils in London. Forks up.
When I grow up, I want to be a ballerina. Because dancing makes me happy. I get to entertain people, and nothing makes me feel more like me.
PI, a defect of the immune system, affects millions of children. Early and accurate diagnosis and treatment give children like Olivia a chance to achieve their dreams.
It takes a great team to put on a show. It also takes a great team of caring people to keep a dream alive. And now my dreams are coming true.
For more information, visit the Jeffrey Modell Foundation at info4pi.org.
When driving in Arizona, move over or slow down for any flashing lights. Move over for tow truck drivers, highway crews, and emergency responders. Move over for any vehicle with its hazards flashing. Because at 65 miles per hour, a vehicle travels over 95 feet in 1 second. 1 second that could change everything. When you move over for anyone, you're not just doing it for them, you're doing it for their families. Their lives are flashing before your eyes. Move over, Arizona. Every vehicle, every time. It's the law. Please visit moveoveraz.org. This message is brought to you by ADOT and this station.
When a heart stops, the clock starts. You are the first responder until help arrives. In that moment, 4 minutes equals brain damage. 6 minutes equals too late in an emergency. The first responder is you. We need you. Will you be ready? Learn CPR. Visit heart.org/nation. That's heart.org/nation.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
Been in the last 3 possessions. Thielen in motion. McCarthy keeps. He's got it. Forces his way into the end zone. Touchdown.
J.J. McCarthy, Minnesota Vikings. All right. There's no reported deal. There's no Cardinals call on record. This is completely media driven, but it's got some real smoke under it. Fan sides, Winston Wilcox, he floated a pitch this weekend sending J.J. McCarthy to Arizona for a 2027 fifth and a 2027 seventh pick. Cheap. And it's just one writer, and you had one anonymous general manager that told NFL.com that he believes McCarthy is gone by the trade deadline. Now, here's why it's even a conversation and a topic today. It is the summer. We need some football to talk about. But, of course, Minnesota's got Kyler, our guy, right? For the veteran million, 1.3. They also brought back Carson Wentz on top of it, leaving McCarthy, the former first-rounder out of Michigan, kind of twisting in the wind. And the what I call the delicious irony here is that trading McCarthy would basically mean Arizona shipped out Kyler Murray and draft capital to land the guy. Kyler is now going to be blocky and basically in Minnesota taking over, right?
Chance to beat him out, yep.
But we all know McCarthy has come out himself earlier in June, said he's happy in Minnesota. Doesn't sound like a guy that's asking to get out. However, that tune could change as we get closer into the season. He's only played 10 games. He was 6-4 as a starter, better than anyone that's on this current roster for the Cardinals when it comes to the success in the National Football League. But then you got Brandon Sorsby, another name that's kind of circling, the Texas Tech quarterback who, by his own admission, bet on his own team, dealt with a gambling addiction, never even played at Texas Tech, transferred on a big NIL deal, fought the legal battle, pushed back. Now he applied for their supplemental draft, and he has been connected to the Cardinals, and as he has been with some other teams. This supplemental draft is coming up here in July. So the question is, should the Cardinals call Minnesota about McCarthy?
First and foremost, I would not call. I think that if you've got Carson Beck in the fold,
okay,
I think that he is as good or just as good as J.J. McCarthy. I really feel that way. Number two, I think that if you looked at Brendan Sorsby and you betted him, you felt pretty comfortable with him, I think they'd be hard-pressed to say we have two, because Sorsby was a young man. I felt Rob was like one or two, and if he'd have played this year, coming out the 2027 draft, one of the top quarterback picks coming out. I really like his talent. A lot of question marks surrounding him there. So if I looked at everything around and you can leave one, I would say if you're going to create competition with two young quarterbacks, I would probably say if I'm going to go down that road, as you're suggesting, is that some of they're suggesting, I would go ahead and I wouldn't say waste, give away one of those draft picks for the supplemental draft. Maybe I pick Sorsby in the second or third round.
Is he worth a third round supplemental pick?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, I think that technically, if there's a kid that's looking to come out and one of the top quarterbacks in the 2027 draft, that if you're going to give away a second or a third rounder, you better make damn sure that if you're going to have him and Carson Beck compete for the starting job, that's what you're going to do. But here's my contention. How are you going to know when you got two other veterans on the roster? You'd have to make room. You have to probably cut one of those veteran quarterbacks, i.e., might be Jacoby Brissett. I don't know, be Gardner Minshew, but they're not going to throw one of those two veteran guys out. I don't know. I think from the standpoint, I think the Cardinals right now would probably stand pat. Carson Beck, he's just as good as those other two quarterbacks. I think I'd give Sorsby a little bit more of a nod than McCarthy and Beck just because I like watching him, his movement and throwing the ball. But I don't think the Cardinals are going to have a third rounder and a first rounder. Now, not to say it hasn't been done. I can go back to the Dallas Cowboys when they got Aikman and Walsh. I think they're both first rounders, if I'm not mistaken. I can go way back to Dan Pastorini and Lynn Dickey, both being drafted high rounds for the Houston Oilers going way back, and it kind of worked its way out. But I think the value of what you're looking for. What are you going to get? Or what would Minnesota want? Here's his first rounder that literally just had his, after 1 year injury, he played last year. You mentioned 6-4, off injured. Is that knee going to hold up? It technically was his rookie year last year. Do they feel he'd do any better than a Carson Beck? Do they feel he'd do any better than going after a Sorsby? I mean, the dilemma is you got three quarterbacks is what you're looking at. Beck, Sorsby, and McCarthy. Out of those three, if you had to pick any one of those three today, who would you pick? And I think I'd probably come down between Sorsby and Beck. Problem is,
both of them have no NFL experience.
Well, I know that, but as far as talent-wise is concerned.
Okay, but
and McCarthy,
McCarthy's guy, he's a national champion.
Okay, it was basically his rookie year last year. He's a long way to go.
But he won 6 games.
Some experience, yes, he does.
How do you take? I mean, you always preach experience, and now you're going to take two guys who've never been on an NFL field before.
Because I look
in competition.
Because I look at their abilities and where they could be projected to be versus the 1 year. I mean, the 1 year. I mean, there was a time that I watched JJ McCarthy struggle with some really basic throws and some really basic thought processes and reads, and you just would scratch your head. I mean, case in point was when they played Chicago Monday Night Football. Watching that game, I was like, where's he going with this ball? But I mean, you look at those three, I think right now the Cardinals be satisfied, have the two veterans, develop the young guy. I don't think they'd go down the road with Brendan Sorsby because the trust factor with him, the ability on one side, but there's going to be a lot of issues with Brendan Sorsby coming out and what his value is going to be with somebody moving down the road.
Isn't it kind of just odd that you have an NFL franchise that's been around longer than, 95% of the other teams?
Sure.
It's been around forever.
For a long time.
We're about 54 days from opening day. And your most important position, you do not have filled.
And that is
it's so discouraging, yes. Mm-hmm. I'm glad they're not the team that I root for every day.
Exactly.
Because it's ridiculous that you have an NFL team that does not have their quarterback in place.
4 weeks, Rock. 4 weeks till training camp. And still no decision on where they're going with Jacoby Brissett.
Unless their mind is made up, they're close to the vest. But it would be better, I would think, for the fan base to say, all right, get in front of it. We're going with Minshew. He's our guy. Or we're going with whoever, it's Brissett. We're going to pay him. He's going to get going. And this is our guy. We're going to work around him. He's going to get the number one reps. He's going to get the relationships going with all the other players. Sure. And he's the starter. But no.
Yeah.
It's just mind-boggling how a franchise can do this. This isn't a minor league franchise.
Doesn't it speak volumes, the quietness of what's going on?
It's so screwed up.
It's totally, you have no plan with your quarterback right now. If Jacoby Brissett was your quarterback,
and I think fans
take care of this.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
He says, let's go. We're going with him. We're going to ride it out. Carson Beck, he's there if we need him. He's our guy in a year or two or maybe sooner. But get in front of it.
Well, Rock, they've never gotten in front of anything. That's the problem.
It's so embarrassing.
It's a problem. So here's how I looked at it. I think Brissett will sign whatever that number is. But if he does sign for, let's say, $10 to $12 million, well, he's automatically going to be your starter. You're not going to bring a guy in to compete with Gardner Minshew and pay him if he's the backup all of a sudden. That's not going to happen. So I think what they're going is, okay, we really like Gardner. We like the development of Carson Beck. We got a decision to make here. That if we tell Jacoby Brissett, look, it's either you report or we cut you. Or you report, or if you don't report, we're going to fine you day in and day out. We might bump your incentives, but that's it. Then Jacoby Brissett's got a decision to make. He's going to look a gift horse in the mouth. He has a chance to be a starter in the NFL again with his incentives and the money that he got as a journeyman quarterback. Basically, Jacoby Brissett has no leverage here because you got Gardner Minshew in there to step in, as you mentioned, and then Carson Beck's going to play probably the last 5, 6, 7 games anyway. So you're right. It is. They've created this mess, and I think that the sooner they make a decision, move on and move forward. Those are some of the things they're going to have to do.
I just don't understand.
It's embarrassing, Rock.
A general manager can have a job without having your most important position in place, and then you work around him.
I've never seen a team. There's been guys that have held out, but you know they're going to be the starter, right? Or they've had decisions.
That's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But when you're 55 days, right now, here we are, late June, and of course, training camp was July 22nd. Where are the camp battles? I mean, do we have any camp battles? You got a new head coach in there. How does LaFleur feel about this?
And how does the guy?
What kind of keys does he have?
I think he's just taking orders, Rock. I really do. I think he's just going to be a good soldier and just kind of go with the flow with this one. Whatever Monty and Michael decide which way they want to go, he's just happy to be there. And you can tell in his pressers, you can tell in his coach speak. You got a guy that was 1-12 last year, only won one game, that being Jacoby Brissett. Either you move on or move off, and then make a decision. Go with Minshew, let the kid play it out. But I doubt they make any kind of move. You'll get a McCarthy or Sorsby. That's just not going to happen.
All right, next we look at the 126th U.S. Open, the wire-to-wire. Wyndham Clark as 1996 U.S. Open champion. Steve Jones will join us after Labs hooks us up with a ESPN 620 Sports Center update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs dropped 2-3 to the Twins over the weekend, but that wasn't the worst of it as Arizona's injury concerns continue to pile up. Starters Ryan Nelson and Michael Soroka were both expected to miss an extended period of time with injuries. Snakes will look to bounce back, though, as they now hit the road to open a 3-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Merrill Kelly gets the start tonight for Arizona, and first pitch is set for 4:45, with pregame coverage getting underway at 4 on 98.7 FM, also streaming live on the Arizona Sports app. Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Nobody. 3 to 6 p.m., Michelob Ultra and Bud Light drafts, tequila cocktails, top shelf spirits over ice balls, local craft beers, and those famous 29-degree drafts, paired with scratch-made bites that actually satisfy. When it comes to happy hour, Twin Peaks doesn't play.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Being in an auto accident is traumatic. You need to call the best law firm that has the experience to get you the best results. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof.
Now open in North Scottsdale. It's the Orangedale Lounge. OD's. Right off Thompson Peak and Bell. Next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club. A one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills. Just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at OrangeDaleLounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
Are you looking for career opportunities with great benefits and job growth? How about the chance to make an impact? What we do here at the City of Phoenix matters. 14,000 employees and counting, all dedicated to making a difference in the communities where they live, work, and play. So come join us. Help us do work that makes Phoenix work. You can see all open positions and apply at phoenix.gov/jobs. This message is sponsored by the City of Phoenix.
Pima JTED doesn't just work for students, it works for all of Arizona. Hands-on training, real-world skills, high school students become job-ready, and Arizona businesses get the talent they need to thrive. Without a skilled workforce, Arizona can't grow. But with Pima JTED graduates, our entire economy prospers. Join the businesses already investing in Arizona's future. Learn more at PimaJTED.org. That's PimaJTED.org. This message is sponsored by Potoff Private Philanthropy.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
Let's go! Second U.S. Open Championship.
All right, Wyndham Clark goes wire to wire at Shinnecock for his second U.S. Open in 4 years. A shaky final round 73, but enough to hold off Sam Burns by a single shot. Scotty Scheffler's career Grand Slam bid hit stalled as he tied for fourth. Rory McIlroy, he faded on the weekend, but Clark cashed in $4.5 million from a record $22.5 million purse. Same kind of cash that Steve Jones won back in 1996 when he won the U.S. Open. Have you spent all that $4.5 million already there, Steve, from your winnings?
Yeah, not only that, my whole earnings for my whole career is gone. About 3 or 4 months.
All right, you won this thing in 96. When a guy goes wire to wire at the U.S. Open, what does that tell you about how he's handling the pressure against what the rest of the field can't? Because he clearly did, especially with being heckled like he did with that Pro Scheffler New York gallery the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, he was digging deep. He didn't have his good stuff on the weekend. His short game saved him. A lot of par putts he made. Obviously, if you watched it, you're like, wow, how many can he make? And he missed a couple. That one little short one there at 15, but around 17, I guess it was. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, you get on the bad side of the New York crowd, you're going to be scuffling. But he handled it pretty good. I thought his acceptance speech was A+. I thought he spoke really well, and I don't think he has to apologize anymore. He's done enough of that, and let's move on. And he's clearly different than he was a year ago. Different frame of mind. He's changed a lot of people in his life. But he cleaned up in Dallas, and he was headed the right direction. And he'd won one before, so he knows what it felt like. So this one was pretty cool because he just kind of hung in there, which he knew that if he could just hang in there, he'd be okay.
Steve, when you look at this course itself, you've played a lot of courses that are extremely difficult. I know you haven't played Shinnecock, but what makes it so brutal? Because it just seems like the USGA, they set it up right this year. It was tough, and the fescue and the greens and everything else. It just seems like I think most amateurs would shoot 120 on a course like that.
Well, and that can happen for sure. But the fairways they said I think they averaged 48 yards wide, which was like, wow, ours was about 30 wide.
Okay.
So you're talking 18 yards and 9 yards on either side. Average is just huge. I mean, a big difference. Now they did have a lot of slope, and of course some of our tournaments back in the day had slope too. So it's you look at Olympic Club on 17, it's almost impossible to hold that fairway, and it's pretty wide. But yeah, I would like to see them get some venues where they could go a little bit tighter on the fairways and see what these guys could do, because they're letting it out there and they're rolling 120 yards, hitting at 400, 390, and it's like, well, okay, yeah, you could do that. It's fairways a little firmer and have down slopes, and but I hope they bring it back in like it used to be, a little bit more, a lot more tighter, firmer greens. I think the greens didn't look that they were in that good a shape to me, the way they were bouncing around and bumpy. But if they had to shave them and roll them, it probably would have been unplayable with that wind. They would have had to stop play. You just can't give them much over 10.5 on the stem meter. But I did wonder what the members thought, and I was going to try to get a hold of one of my buddies. He knows a lot of members, and just see what they thought of the whole setup. and that would be an interesting take.
You know, Steve, it's interesting. They were showing defining shots or defining holes of past U.S. Open champions, and I felt that second shot on 16 by Clark, and then that putt was like that's one of the more defining holes for his tournament. They also showed like Corey Pavin's 3-wood into was that Los Angeles Country Club, wherever that was, for him to win his Open. Just the defining. I mean, I felt that with him coming back with all the adversity you talked about for 2 days. And he said he'd been comfortable with that shot because he'd been in the dump several times during the tournament, so he felt comfortable with hitting that shot.
Yeah, Corey had actually had like 2.25 or 230 on the last hole. He hit a 4-wood in there for that shot at Shinnecock, so that's where he won his. But yeah, mentally, I think Clark was in a good frame of mind.
Not only that, but just to pull that shot off and to make that putt. And then that last putt on number 18 remind me a little bit of Spawn last year when he sunk that, 60-footer on the final hole. But just the nerves that this young man has had, that he's handled, to your point, the crowd, the pressure, wire to wire. I've apologized enough, so I deserve, to win this. I spoke volumes. I really felt this young man, I handled the entire week.
Yeah, I mean, he had a 52-footer on that hole, hit it inside a foot, and then I guess at L.A. at 23 when he won the last hole, he hit it. It was 62 feet, and you get out there at 62 feet. That's under pressure. That's a long putt, and both of them he 2-putted. So awesome 2 putts, and he's a good putter. He's worked hard. He's still young. He bombs it like a lot of those guys, and he takes a little more time on every shot. Talked about it a little bit more than a lot of us, but he wasn't going to hit it till he was ready in his mind. And I guess there was no clock ticking, so they took a long time, a couple minutes to hit a shot sometimes. But I just couldn't do it. I got to hit something within the 20, 30 seconds, even if it's wrong. At least I already hit it.
Talk about the wind a little bit. We talked about them before the tournament. It seemed to rear its ugly head more so yesterday than the previous 3 days. And they said it wasn't so much the wind, but it was the changing of the wind periodically. How difficult is that to strategize? And if you do feel it shift right before you address your ball, I saw him take a couple clubs out a few times. Was the main reason for that because of the wind and the shifting winds?
Yeah, that's everything, right? I mean, if all of a sudden it kicks up on you at the tee, it's like, well, I'm going to be short because I had to hit this really hard to get there. So all of a sudden it quit. Like, oh, I'm going to knock it over. And there was a lot of guys knocking it over the green on some of those, even on those 60 and 80-yard shots. Just the green was firm there, but other holes it wasn't firm. So it was pretty interesting to watch. You just didn't know what was going to happen. Nothing was a guarantee. Even though coming down the last hole, but I thought his layup shot on was it 16 when he birdied that shot out of the rough. He barely cleared that bunker. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if he had plugged it in that bunker or something like 8 or 10 feet shorter, he took an aggressive line there. I don't know if he pulled it out of the grass. Probably did a little bit because that's what happens. But I think he wanted to stay a little more right. But that was very, very close. And it was so close you couldn't see it bounce on the TV, and then it started rolling.
Major champion Steve Jones joins Roc and Manuch here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Steve, galleries are part of the game. Some are better than others, of course. But
to say the least,
have you played with a couple guys down the stretch where clearly they were more of a fan of whomever that may have been? You've played with some of the best in the world. Can you recall where the crowd noise just maybe got to you on the final holes of a tournament?
I've never experienced what he experienced. I bet it was really bad if you were out there listening. They did get rid of a couple guys, I think, around 9 or 10 or somewhere. And I think that made a big difference. So maybe that helped settle him down a little bit. And I think it goes the other way sometimes if you feel like you got the home court advantage and the crowd's so bad, like the Ryder Cup in New York. And then, the U.S. players are like trying to calm people down. It works the other way. And then we get preoccupied with, they're getting, yelled at and stupid stuff, thrown at stuff. And it kind of goes the other way, and then the underdogs get a lot of momentum, and they are able to free up and go, while the U.S. players are apologizing for how rude everybody is. So, and I kind of felt that way with Scheffler a little bit. I thought he got the bad end of the stick because it was so obvious how, they're yelling for him and not for Wyndham. And maybe that had a little effect because Scotty just didn't have it. It's amazing. It's like he didn't have it this week. He finished fourth.
Yeah.
Made him another $1 million. He's just terrible now. Can't make the putts. That's what's incredible about him.
Steve, I want to talk about Joaquin Niemann real quick. Two-stroke penalty, throws the club on Monday, or the first round on Thursday, 78. Shoots 65, 72, and then 66 yesterday. That two-stroke penalty might have cost him a run at the title.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it, how it happens like that? You never know. He might have missed the cut if he didn't get the two-shot penalty. But maybe that motivated him, kind of get his game going. You just don't know what makes a guy tick. There's a lot of strange things that can make a guy go the other way. Like when Barkley said, I think it was Houston, there's no way they're coming back from 3-1 or whatever.
Sure.
Well, they posted that on the locker room. It's like, you just fired him up. Don't pour gasoline on the – oh, man.
So throwing the club or breaking the club, they're going to give you a two-stroke penalty no matter what. Are you surprised? Would they typically ever suspend you from a tournament, Steve? Have they ever done that with somebody being that violent or that gregarious on a golf course?
I haven't really seen that. I know that Cal Quebecia in the 81 in Ohio State, we had NCAAs in 1981. He trashed a trash can, just kicked it, smashed it, and hit it. And he didn't get to play the next day, or his score didn't count that day. One of the, I can't remember exactly, but he got penalized one round anyway, and that was college. So pros, it probably happened. I can't even think of anybody yet, but most of the time it was just for drugs, and then they kept it quiet. Nobody knew it was for drugs, and then they went out for a month or two, and then they came back later. Oh, I got some issues I got to take care of. Yeah, you do.
Steve, as always, buddy, thank you for making some time for us today.
It was exciting, so I go ahead to that next year at the Pebble Beach. So
yeah,
that should be fun too. We'll get a lot of West Coast people out there.
Sure,
out there now at Pebble. So keep up the good work, guys.
I appreciate you.
Thanks,
That's Steve Jones joining us, U.S. Open 1996 champion. Still ahead, our soccer update brought to you by Twin Peaks and Michelob Ultra. A grandfather's bucket list dream falls apart at the gate over tickets that vanished into thin air, and 1 million tourists are packing bars without leaving a dime. Two stories you'll be talking about next. It's Roc and Manuch.
The biggest soccer tournament on the planet is going on, and there's no better place to catch every match than Twin Peaks. Watch all the action on wall-to-wall TVs with ice-cold 29-degree draft beer, made from scratch food, and game day specials all tournament long. Twin Peaks is going unmatched for every match through July 19th. Cheer on Team USA or your favorite country at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. $5 locations.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Attorney Kevin Rowe. Getting rear-ended once is bad enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner and Rowe today. 977-1900.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selection. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Join the team at All City Towing. Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Need to feed a crowd? Let Venencia's bring the flavor to your next event. We know you have a lot of options when feeding a large group. Ordering directly from Venencia's means you get the best service and the absolute best pricing. There's no per person fee. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll come up with the perfect plan to ensure everyone's well fed and happy. Grad party, office celebration, family reunion. Invite Venencia's to the table. Text catering to 411 24/7. That's catering to 411 247 or Venencias.com.
Phoenix, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it the right way. Victory Plumbing Arizona. It's particular plumbing for particular people with upfront pricing before the work starts. So there's no surprises when the job's done. And here's a deal just for listeners. Tell them you heard Victory Plumbing on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and they'll waive the service charge. For leaks, clogs, water heaters, or anything plumbing, book today at victoryplummingarizona.com. ROC number 268603.
The U.S. is on the world stage, and there's a lot to get to. This is your World Cup soccer update, powered by Twin Peaks. 5 locations across the valley showing you every match, and Michelob Ultra pouring all summer long. Let's get you caught up.
Of the picture review, the goal scorer was not in offside position.
And the building shakes in Seattle. Alex Freeman's 3rd international goal for the U.S. He is onside, and he reacts first to this ball. Doesn't stop. Patrick Beach is on the floor, and it's Freeman from close range. Beats him. The right punch almost coming, but it's Freeman who punches it home for the United States' 2nd goal to give them a 2-goal cushion. From almost going off the field to staying on the field. What a moment for that young man, 21 years old.
All right, the group stage delivered. The big story is us. The USA punched its ticket to the knockout round with a 2-0 win over Australia on Friday. Then locked up first place in the group. Alex Freeman, who you just heard, the 21-year-old son of ex-NFL receiver Antonio Freeman, headed in the winner. And elsewhere over the weekend, Brazil rolled Haiti. Morocco edged Scotland. We also had the Netherlands hammering Sweden 5-1. Japan dropped a 4 spot on, is it how do you say Tunisia?
Tunisia.
How do you say it?
Tunisia.
Where is it?
Where's Tunisia? Oh, man.
Africa?
Yeah, it might be somewhere. I mean, it's like Cape Verde. I found out they're just off the South African coast.
They're not just down up the street.
No, they're not.
And then near Ivory Coast, where that is. The Germans beat them.
Cape Verde, another good showing.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah, and then it's all about history in Dallas. As Messi today had 2 goals as the defending champion. Argentina took care of Austria 2-0 on there. So he had 2 more goals. So this week it's Thursday, and you got, before that, you got Portugal and England tomorrow. That's a big one. People are going to be talking about that. And then Canada takes on Switzerland, and Mexico hosts the Czechs. And then Thursday, doesn't matter. This game has nothing. There's nothing. It just sucks that if you have tickets to this, which would have been a great last game of the group if it meant something, but Turkey is out. USA is in, 7 o'clock, SoFi. And then the group stage wraps up on Saturday in the then brand new round 32. And then USA, as the group winner, they locked in for the 32. They will play the next Wednesday, July 1st, in Santa Clara, which is San Francisco.
Kind of nice to have USA in the knockout round playing a game, just a friendly on a Thursday. I mean, it's just like it's rare that this happened whatsoever because we can never get beyond the knockout round. So nice to see them have basically a practice game. Play a lot of guys that are basically haven't played a lot. Rest your 4 guys have got the yellow card. Rest some of your your guys and get them healthy, get them well, get them ready to go. And you basically would have almost like a week off before they would play the next round. So nice to see that and to see this team have the kind of progress that we're hoping that they continue. And as Freeman said, we got our eyes on the cup. I mean, I love that. I love that attitude. But you're seeing some of these other teams that are starting to gain a little traction, as you mentioned earlier, that are starting to come on and really play solid soccer.
So a gut punch on this one. A 26-year-old granddaughter reportedly spent about $6,000 to fly her 89-year-old grandfather from San Diego to Mexico to watch Mexico play South Korea. It was a bucket list dream. They got to the stadium 6 hours before the doors opened. The problem was the tickets she bought on StubHub never transferred. Now, she got the confirmation, the payment went through, but they never reached the gate. Nothing. She spent hours on the phone. StubHub reportedly told her she might not get the tickets until halftime. So this 89-year-old man stood outside the stadium in tears, listening like 45,000 fans go crazy as they watched the game, as he had watched the game, and he's watching on his phone. Now, StubHub later refunded the money, offered tickets to the next Mexico match. However, they had to turn it down because the elevation there was a health risk for him. And here's the kicker. He's not alone. Associated Press is saying that there's been a lot of this happening all over the tournament. Families and fans in Atlanta, families with their kids, all locked out over tickets that never transferred between the FIFA app and these resale sites. So StubHub is blaming FIFA. FIFA is blaming the sellers. Either way, fans are getting burned. And it makes you appreciate just going to Twin Peaks to watch games, right?
You know what? If they've got
ticket drama there.
If they've got the confirmation number and they've got all that there, I mean, you would think that they would allow these individuals in to say, look, everything's here but the ticket, proving that you paid your money, you got a confirmation number, and that the ticket's just not there. Now, the thing is, it's like, okay, we can let you in, but you may have to stand. In this case, I'm sure this guy was either in a wheelchair or needed some help to go. But I would think in certain cases that they would have some kind of resolution, some kind of resolve to allow these people in if they've got their confirmation numbers and it shows that they've paid. I mean, this
happens a lot, but it just happened to me at the Masters. This happened to me at different tournaments, concerts. This is the challenge with resellers. It just is. It's got to be. Just sucks. There's some things you can't control.
Is it because it's a reseller? Is that the main reason why?
Well, they're waiting on. So I'm trying to sell my tickets. I have 2 tickets to the World Cup. I want to sell them, and if I'm not getting them uploaded in time, and then there's that transfer, you got to give them to the end user, which is you. It sucks.
It's such a shame. That's one of the things I would hope 4 years from now that they get that fixed or they get that.
No, it's not just the World Cup, but it just happens. Yeah. NFL, Major League Baseball happens all the time.
I would think that this lesson would help moving forward with all kind of purchases, any kind of sport purchases.
Nice to go back to hard tickets. All right, an estimated 1.2 million fans they have flooded the New York area for all the matches, of course, there at MetLife. They're packing the bars, the morning kickoffs, the late night kickoffs. Business is booming. But the tips, not so much. Servers in New York and around the area in North Jersey are saying that these international crowds, they're fun, but they're walking on tabs of like $700 and they're not leaving a thing. And it's not that they're being stingy or cheap. It's their culture.
Yep.
In Europe, tips are built into the price. The staff get real wages, so visitors just assume it's already covered. So now the response is that the restaurants in Kansas City, Atlanta, and Philly, they've already started adding 20% gratuities during the tournament, basically just to protect their servers and bartenders. There are a lot of people that are not on board because some operators say tips reflect the service, right? It's not just auto stamp, boom. You have to worry about the backlash. Yeah, that sucks. You feel bad. You go down in Florida. I went to national championship. They automatically put 17%.
Yeah, I think that if there's a certain amount that they do that,
I want to cuss on the radio. Such BS.
You find this like over in Italy, they say that you don't have to.
No,
tip.
I always did.
We always tip no matter what.
No, you did. You're the cheapest guy.
No, we did. We tipped.
You're alligator arms Benucci.
20% every time.
What if they did better than 20? Get more than 20.
Well, yeah, but I mean, these deserve. Hey, a lot of them were over 20%. Trust me.
Oh, I doubt it.
A lot of people frowned on that too. You don't have to tip them. I said we tip.
I will say, Manuch is always good at giving those Twin Peaks girls the money. They give us some food. He's always a good tipper over there.
Absolutely. I got to tip.
I will say.
Those Twin Peaks girls. Yeah, I don't think his wife wants to hear that.
I'm always a good
She
tipper.
can't go out to dinner on Saturdays because he gives all his money to the girls on Thursday.
Just don't take her to Twin Peaks.
No, probably not going to do that.
All
Always
right.
tip your servers.
Phoenix Suns talk. Yes, a couple players signed some contract extensions over the weekend. We'll get into that next.
Parents, give your high schooler a summer that sets them up for success. With free summer school at Primavera Online, your student can catch up or get ahead in just 4 weeks while still enjoying their summer. For 25 years, Primavera has supported Arizona families with flexible, fully accredited, NCAA-approved online learning. Now enrolling free summer school for grades 9 through 12. Visit freesummerschool.com to enroll today. That's freesummerschool.com. Enroll today.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Living in the Valley of the Sun means we're always battling the heat on the golf course, at work, or just getting through the day. To stay sharp, you need more than energy. You need hydration. You need Phoenix Hydration Energy. Spelled Phoenix, like the city we love. Phoenix gives you clean, natural energy from green tea, plus 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. No crash, no junk, just pure performance. Grab Phoenix Hydration Energy today at 7-Eleven, Quick Trip, or Circle K. Phoenix Hydration Energy. Rise up.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views. When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit staycool-products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620. Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
Gillespie nearly lost it. Gilgeous-Alexander went for the steal. Instead, it's a step-back 3. Up and in again. Colin Gillespie's made all 5 of his threes. He's got 17 to lead everybody. And the Suns are back within 2. 69-67, final minute here. He throws across court. It's stolen by Jordan Goodwin. He's going to go coast to coast and throw it down with the right hand. Goody puts the Suns up 16, taking the steal the other end and finishing with the jam.
John Bloom with the calls there as the Suns were active this weekend. All start in the backcourt. Phoenix reportedly locked up Colin Gillespie on a 4-year deal worth about $48 million. They did that on Saturday. Then they came back on Sunday, and then to re-sign Jordan Goodwin on a reported 3-year, $19 million pack with a player option in the third year, all according to ESPN. Year one lands around $10.5 million for Gillespie and under $6 million for Goodwin. And this is a big win for the organization. 2 undrafted waiver wire guys turned into basically rotation pieces. They fit on this team culturally as well. Phoenix being the first club in the league to lock up 2 of their own free agents in that early negotiation window. Now, just worth noting that these agreed deals, they don't become official until the free agency opens their window on June 30th. And then a couple other housekeeping items. They did tender qualifying offers to Mark Williams at about 9.6 and guard Kobe Brea, making both of them restricted free agents. And of course, last week, the buzz or the conversation was Devin Booker switching his jersey number from 1 to 15.
A couple of things. I think that they'll commit to signing. You talk about a restricted free agent for both of them. I think Mark Williams comes back. I thought he played too well. I think he fits what the Suns want to do. I think it's just a matter of going and get a big man in the draft. Now they could move into the first round, maybe 2022, somewhere in there. But I think the biggest with Con Gillespie, it had been reported that he left some money on the table to stay with this Suns team. They said there were some offers out there at a $52 to $54 million contract by a couple other teams, but he wanted to stay. Same with Goodwin. Goodwin said he's left a couple $1 million on the table per year as well too, which I think bodes well for the Suns team to say, okay, if Con Gillespie is going to leave $2 or $3 million on the table and Goodwin's going to leave $2 or $3 million on the table, there's $6-7 million that they can use toward other players. And their whole strategy behind this was that they want to stay. They like the culture. They feel this team is growing. And with them acquiescing, or I like to call it, giving the Suns the hometown deal, I think that's a big benefactor. Speaks volumes of where Jordan and this team are really going, and that they want to stay and help build this thing.
So draft is tomorrow. Round 1 will begin around 5 o'clock. It's on ABC and ESPN. Round 2, Wednesday, same time. So the Suns are going to walk in with exactly 1 pick, number 47. And that's kind of middle of the second round. And the only future capital they kept out of that Kevin Durant trade. So no first rounder at all. And that's the price of a super team era. You got to basically trade your picks away. However, multiple reports, and you look at what they did last year in Brian Gregory, they traded up in each of the last 2 drafts, I believe. So we'll see if they're going to make some moves. I think they will. I think they will trade up, and if they do, it sucks how there's so many one and done players that you don't really know these guys coming out of college like we used to. You used to be able to say, all right, there's 25 guys that that could go in the first or second round, and other than the top 10 that you see promoted quite a bit. I don't know if it's a really good class or not.
This is one of the best drafts in the last 10 or 15 years. You have 10 guys who are all true freshmen going in the top 10. All of them were 18 years old.
I don't know if that's strong, though.
They would all be number 1 or 2 picks in any other draft. Though.
Okay, but my point is they're all freshmen. And you're going to say, I think we'll see more busts in freshmen. I would rather have a guy that played 4 years at Duke or 3 years in Big 10, Big 12 than a guy that played 1 year.
You got Jaden Bradley from Arizona, if you like that, but I think he's more of a second-round pick. But you have guys like Boozer, who was a freshman at Duke, but you see their build, their size. They're 6'4", 2-something already. An NBA scout is like, we can work with that. If he's 18 only.
We're going to have to get some we'll call Coach Lansing with the Suns and talk about that specifically. The fact that these guys have 1 year under their belt. That's it.
See, I agree with you, Rock. I'd rather all this, this top 10, one of the best top 10s, and to your point, Laz, all freshmen, I'd rather have that guy that's played 3 years or 4 years.
Yeah.
He may not be as talented, but I look at this Suns team this last year, and you sit there and go, okay, now eventually Malawatch is going to be a good player, but came out after a year. He has a long way to go. He's a good athlete, big, strong kid. And you look at some of the other players for this team. I look at Rasheer Fleming. I think Fleming, who played, 4 years? I really liked how his game translate it, more mature. He's older. I thought he grew a lot more so than Maluwach did. So to that point, I'm the same kind of guy that stayed. He's matured. He's bigger and stronger. He can handle the day in and day out extricacies that you're going to have as a professional NBA player. And I think those are some of the things as a fan, I'd rather see that than a guy that comes out. Now I know these potential superstars are waning. I get all that. But when will he really blossom versus the other guy may not be as talented, will blossom quicker and contribute to the team a little bit.
Well, you got some guys who are not true freshmen, like from Michigan, you got Adai Mara, the big man, and then Yaxel Lendelborg from Michigan. He's been around for a few years. They're still projected to go in the lottery at 13 or 14. But yeah, looking at a mock draft from 8 hours ago this morning, the first 11 picks are all projected to be true freshmen.
Sure.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I think of guys coming out like Jalen Green. I mean, he's still developing. Was he just 4 years in the league? But you take a good hard look at that, and there's a lot of these so-called kids coming out. Not many of them hit right from the get-go. I think of Zion Williamson for one. I mean, Zion Williamson here, this kid comes out. He's a can't miss, right? Well, he just can't stay healthy.
He's still pretty good.
He's damn good when he's playing, but that's the whole thing. And if you sit there and go, I know hindsight's 20/20. Very talented. They felt he was very mature, but he hurt that knee, hurt the ankle. There's a lot of things he had coming out. And you're right. A lot of these managers feel, hey, give him a couple, 2-3 years and to develop. But you get an experienced team as the Suns start to grow. Can those guys grow along with them? Look at Oso. I thought he came around. I think he and Dunn really improved first year to second year. Now, do they see that window of them improve even more so to be able to compete with the OKCs, with a lot of these other teams that are that much further ahead going into their third and their fourth year? So, I mean, I even saw a couple of mock drafts where the Suns are drafted. I think the big kid from Arkansas, the big center, and then the kid from Kentucky, one of those wingmen, but they're all freshmen. They've got the builds, they got the size, but it's just not going to be the same when you have a veteran ball club that's eventually growing. But let's hope that Mark Williams can get a deal done so he can continue.
He will not be back, Manuch.
You don't think so?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
Intel.
Is that what they're saying right now?
Just I don't think he'll be back.
Okay. All right. We'll note that. We'll note that he's not.
I've said it to you like 10 times now.
I know. I don't know. I don't understand.
I don't see the reason to bring it back.
I agree with Rock. I think you have to. You got Maluwach. You got that pick in the Kevin
Maluwach
Durant
is the
trade.
future of this team.
You're stunting his growth if you continually leave Mark Williams out there. You got Oso's a great backup center. But you got to let Maluwach go through the growing pains and just learn and grow next year, or else it's going to stunt his
These
learning
guys,
curve.
these scouts, these coaches love Maluwach.
Oh yeah,
They think he's like
him.
a Rudy Gobert. Like
Yeah.
he has that potential.
I think with the tender offer that the Suns have, somebody will match that and go. They'll see. It'll be the beauties in the eye of the beholder. Somebody else will step up, offer more money, because they feel that, hey, as the Suns, if they want to go with Maluwach, if they feel they're another couple years away, great. If somebody needs a Mark Williams right now to help them get them over the hump, I could see them offering more money and taking him since he's unrestricted. I mean, he's a restricted free agent right now, but they'd have to get something in return. But when Williams was playing healthy, I was really impressed with the young man. He's got more talent than we thought he did. At least I felt so.
I think he's just a body.
Well, he can go both hands, both ways.
Well, he can play. He can dribble his right and left.
Well, no, but
he's in the NBA.
He's more talented, I think, than a lot of people. When he was
He's
healthy,
not.
No, I felt he was. I felt getting up and down the court.
He's a body. I mean, he's an NBA player. I'm not taking anything away from that, but he's not what the Phoenix Suns need.
Well, that's another.
They need Suns need a big man, a true big man.
Well, he's 6'11".
Well, but he doesn't play like one. He doesn't. He's not scoring a lot. He's not rebounding a lot. He's like, again, he's not consistent enough.
Yeah, and if the injuries are going to be
one day
consistent,
he's pulling 10 boards, the next he's got 3.
and that could be a lot of the frustration with the Suns. And if they feel Maluwach can do that, or even better so, but I think Maluwach he's got to put another 15, 20 pounds on to go banging in there with the big boys like OKC, or you see the guys with the Knicks. I mean, I look at the teams in the playoffs and the guys that they had. If they're going to rely on Maluwach and Oso, they're going to have to get bigger and stronger. I still think they need to go get another big man. If you're not going to sign Williams, go get another big guy.
That's the whole point, Manuch.
Well, if you got a big man in Williams, how much?
That's what I'm saying. You don't need, but he's not. He's serviceable, but he's not going to make this. They're not going to get far in the playoffs with him.
Well,
He
Malawach
doesn't scare anybody.
He's not going to. Malawach
We don't know
scare
that.
anybody.
The guy hasn't played enough. We'll see.
This team, you look at other teams, they need some dudes down low.
Okay, but Malawach is their guy. He's a first-round pick. He's going to be the
kid.
guy.
He's a kid.
Okay, but look what
year.
we were just talking about the draft. They're all kids.
Well, then
they're all kids.
Then if they stick with Malawach, and you're looking at another 2 or 3 years before this can compete for a title. If you're
Throw
going to
him in there.
young guy, well, that's fine. But you're not going to get beyond the first round of the playoffs without any kind of consistent big men.
So, I just think a second year of Malawach is better than whatever this year would be for Williams.
I think you keep Williams, you keep Malawach, you play him more, develop him, and you got Oso there. Those 3 kids.
It's a good debate. It's all it is. I mean, this is a team that has been starving for a big man for so many years.
That can produce night in and night out.
All right, Saturday, July 4th. Yeah, it's a Saturday. Westworld of Scottsdale. They're throwing the biggest party in the valley, and it's capped by the largest fireworks display in Scottsdale's history. And we're sending you. Yeah, we're going to send you there. Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B. We have 4 4-packs to give away. There's a rodeo. There's a mutton busting. There's a backyard barbecue. There's a slider contest. There is a parade of heroes. It's all playing off the 250. We have 4 winners, 4 tickets each, and we'll send them straight into your box. We'll tell you how next.
Right in the heart of Arizona Athletic Grounds, one of the largest youth sports complexes in North America. Bristol's is the ultimate hangout for families and sports fans in Mesa. Come experience amazing double-decker cheeseburgers, award-winning wings, smoked barbecue, and fresh, craveable salads. With seating for 500, a full bar, 20 beers on tap, and over 100 TVs, happy hour Thursdays, Friday and Sunday from 4 till 6, plus trivia night every Thursday night. Bristol's, where Mesa comes to eat, watch, and win.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. The insurance company's job is to pay you as little as possible. Our job is to get you every dollar you deserve. Call Rowe today and let's make them pay. Call 977-1900.
Rock for WhiteToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Lace Up Tempe, the Frank Cush Youth Foundation's 33rd annual Runnin' for the Brats is back. Saturday, October 10th at Tempe Beach Park. Part of the Tempe Sister Cities 4 Peaks Oktoberfest. Every step supports Lady Hawk softball, girls flag football, the Frank Cush Scholarship at ASU, and kids across our community. Sign up or volunteer at Oktoberfest.run. That's Oktoberfest.run. Give back, run, cheer. October 10th, Tempe Beach Park.
When it comes to sushi, reputation matters. And Sushi Brokers Arcadia has built theirs on being the best sushi in Arizona. From traditional rolls to bold fusion creations, like our crowd favorite, Seafood Dynamite, and the must-try sushi pizza. We've got something for everyone. Our famous happy hour is every day from 3 to 6:30 with fresh favorites like the California roll, spicy tuna roll, and the surf and turf roll, topped with seared steak. Sushi Brokers Arcadia, 44th Street in Indian School.
Phoenix, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it the right way. Victory Plumbing Arizona. It's particular plumbing for particular people, with upfront pricing before the work starts, so there's no surprises when the job's done. And here's a deal just for listeners. Tell them you heard Victory Plumbing on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and they'll waive the service charge. For leaks, clogs, water heaters, or anything plumbing, book today at victoryplumbingarizona.com. ROC number 268603.
Now let's go Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, line drive down the right field. Line, fair ball. That thing's headed towards the corner. Troy scores. Haven scores. Here's the go route for Perdomo. Throw to the plate, not in time. And Carroll, a bases clearing triple, makes it a 9-5 ball game.
All right, D-backs fall 2-3 to Minnesota. They got St. Louis Cardinals tonight, coming up about 4:30 over on Arizona Sports. We'll get to that in just a moment, but we're sending you to the biggest fourth in the Valley. 4-pack tickets to Scottsdale's 13th annual 4th of July celebration at Westworld of Scottsdale. It's a Saturday, of course, July 4th. It goes from 5 to 9. It's the largest fireworks display in Scottsdale history, and it's going to light up those Dow Mountains. It's going to be awesome at 9 o'clock. They get the Lerner Row Rodeo, the bull riding. You got M. Culinary doing a big backyard barbecue. Cold beer and cheeseburgers. Got a huge slider eating contest. A bunch of NFL players there last year. The Kid Zone, the Right to a Parade of Heroes. So 4 winners, 4 tickets each. We'll email them to you straight to you. So if you want in, we'll take callers 4, 5, 6, and 7. 4, 5, 6, and 7. The phone number 602-230-0620. That's 602-230-0620. It's a cashless event. So if you do win these tickets, just to let you know, bring your card. No cash. So anyway, it is Scottsdale's 4th. It's a big one. It's their biggest one ever. 13th annual right there at Westworld. Pretty cool event. Been there the last few years. And you can go to the website if you want to get tickets at Scottsdale 4th, the number 4th.com. All right, let's get to some D-backs talk. As they lose the series, as I mentioned, they're now 39-38, 1 game over 500, 3rd in the National League West, behind the runaway Dodgers club, which are just destroying it, 49-29, and the Padres just ahead at 39-37. So they lost the home series, as we mentioned. Now they're on the road, but the big story is the pitching staff continues to fall apart, and now they leave for 7 games against a couple teams that are playing much better baseball than the Diamondbacks. So it's a stretch that will tell us a lot on who they are, but it's the rotation. It's gutted it. In a span of a week, they have lost roughly 40% of their starting rotation. Ryan Nelson hit the IL. He's dealing with some UCL strain in his elbow. Best case, 4 to 6 weeks, maybe. Then we'll reevaluate and see how that works. Michael Soroka, who's quietly has been quietly the best starter at 8-3, at about just over a 3 ERA. But he got himself a little bit of a bind, so he's out. He has a glute issue, so he's about 4 weeks, maybe longer. Of course, we've still got Corbin Burns. We have not seen him. Some talk of September, but not it. So maybe it's bad luck. Maybe it's a pattern with injuries with these pitchers for the last 2 years. And a new pitching coach this year opposed to last year, so you can't blame the pitching coach. But what is it? Is it just bad luck?
You know, Rock, it's interesting. You sit there and think of this is 2 years in a row now that this Diamondback pitching staff has had issues. You think of the last couple of years. I was sitting there thinking about between the Cardinals and the Diamondbacks, the black cloud over at the Cardinal complex, all the injuries they had last year. And then the last couple of years here with this Arizona Diamondback team, and you look at one, you get 7 pitchers that are out. 2 of them are lefties. And a lot of these guys aren't going to be coming back till maybe August, maybe September. And the thing with, one of the things you talked about, Ryan Nelson, it's a partially torn flexor tendon. So that's a partial tear. When you think about that, that's probably not till September. Soroka, that was weird. He was just warming up, and he felt that the flexor muscle in his left hip just started to give out on him. So that could be 2 weeks, could be 3 weeks. In the meantime, all you really have is you've got Kelly on the bump tonight. You got Erod. Thank God Rodriguez is okay. And then Zach Gallen that can't get out of his own way.
Jose Cabrera looked pretty good yesterday. And
Yes,
we
he
threw 9 scoreless, right? Maybe they're building. That's a building block, right?
I would say so. 5, you look at the 5 scoreless innings he had.
Strong.
And it's interesting because they brought him up before Brandon Pfaadt, who's still down in Reno. He's getting stretched out or whatever they call it, getting his reps in. And so now you got 2 holes to fill. It's Cabrera, I'm sure, will fill one of these holes against St. Louis. And then when you get to Tampa Bay, you wonder if they just go with the 4-man rotation and keep it that way. Or we haven't seen one way or the other yet. And Laz, you can check on me with Brandon Pfaadt if they bring him up out of necessity, whether he's ready or not.
Well, the reports are he's kind of been stretched a little bit in Reno, but he's only around 50 pitches. So he's not quite ready yet, especially if they're going to need him as a starter.
So you wonder, okay, long reliever, only 50 pitches. If he must have, I don't know if he got hurt or just couldn't handle the bullpen with not getting, maybe it just takes him longer to get ready, warmed up. They felt, hey, look, let's send him down, put him through his regular routine. Let's put him 3 or 4 starts, 50, build it up 50 pitches to 60 to whatever. But if it's only 50 pitches, I don't know, that kind of hints to me that there might have been a strain or something going on with his arm. You would think at this point going down, he'd be able to go 65, 70 pitches. But it's different as a starter versus a reliever. So maybe just the stamina of being a starter, if they wanted him to go down to build himself back up to being a starter and be able to go 75, 80 pitches.
I don't get it. What is so different in the last couple of years with pitchers? It just seems like there's so many injuries to pitchers than any other position in any other sport.
You know, I looked at the St. Louis Cardinals situation. They have 2 guys on the IL. And we look at the Diamondback, they've got 11 people.
6 on the 60.
Yes.
But 3 or 4 on the 15 and a couple on the 10.
Yes. That's what's interesting. And it's just, you look at other teams, I don't know if they go through this kind of triage that the Diamondbacks have had in back-to-back years. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the way they're being trained. I know Kaplan came over last year's first year from Philadelphia as a pitching coach, or just the individuals. You know, Kelly's getting up there in years. Erod has gotten better this last year. Zach Gallen right now is just fallen by the wayside. And the other night to get exploded upon like he did. So right now, I think that for Torey Lovullo and his staff, the guys running the team up there with Mike Hazen and his forward scouting, they've got to be out there looking around to see if there's a very viable starter that they can make a trade with sooner rather than later. As you mentioned, the trade deadline's not until August 3rd. You've got, 3 more weeks until the All-Star break. So they've got to be out there hustling around trying to go. They've only got 3 legitimate pitchers or starters and 2 are question marks. And if Cabrera does fill one of those holes, that's going to be a huge question mark facing this St. Louis Cardinal team that can score a lot of runs. Now, the only saving grace for the Diamondbacks is the Cardinals have lost 6 out of the last 10. And in those 10 games, their pitching staff has given up 58 runs in those 10 games. Now, the other side of that is the Cardinals can score runs. They're scoring, I think they're getting outscored 5-3. You look at those 10 games that they've had over the last 10 games. So they can score runs, but the Diamondbacks, if their bats can stay hot, can't compete with this Cardinals team because their staff is giving up a lot of runs. It's a mess.
The bats as well. They picked a bad time to nap over the weekend. Offense scored 9 on Friday, then 4 the total the rest of the weekend. Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll can carry a lineup, but they went 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position yesterday. So if the staff's going to get going, I know it's patched together right now, and the offense needs to also kind of figure out, because this weekend it wasn't the case. So as your point with the pitching in St. Louis, and then of course then Tampa, it's gonna be tough to get this bats going.
So Cabrera, I think Cabrera for now is odd man out. I think they just go with the 4-man rotation until they can figure it out, and they just hope that Cabrera can last. I mean, outstanding, but guys start to get the book on him, and I think those are some of the things they're going to have to be very leery of. Or heads up, bullpen. You know, you're going to be called upon very often during this 7-game road trip. 2 really, really good, outstanding teams that can hit the baseball.
All right, Frank Sanders is going to join us, and we will talk some NFL football, but more importantly, get his thoughts on should the Cardinals call Minnesota about J.J. McCarthy. Seems like that's been one of the storylines, and we'll see what he thinks about that, as well as I know Manuch wants to talk to him about the wide receiver, the guy that was a first-round pick that we still are waiting for him to show up.
Where's he at?
So we will get into that after Laz hooks us up with a Twin Peaks ESPN sports update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs dropped 2-3 to the Twins over the weekend, but that wasn't the worst of it as Arizona's injury concerns continue to pile up. Starters Ryan Nelson and Michael Soroka are both expected to miss an extended period of time with injuries. Snakes will look to bounce back, though, as they now hit the road to open a 3-game set against the St. Louis Cardinals. Camille Kelly will get the start tonight for Arizona. The first pitch is set for 4:45, with pregame coverage getting underway in about 30 minutes or so on 98.7 FM, also streaming live on the Arizona Sports app. Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Nobody. 3 to 6 p.m., Michelob Ultra and Bud Light drafts, tequila cocktails, top shelf spirits over ice balls, local craft beers, and those famous 29-degree pints paired with scratch-made bites that actually satisfy. When it comes to happy hour, Twin Peaks doesn't play.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views. Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the Grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
You push hard, you train hard. Shouldn't your soda work just as hard? Meet Kunu, the superfood nutrition soda packed with whole vitamins, electrolytes, and antioxidants. Only 5 grams of natural sugar. Over 2,000 5-star reviews. Voted the #1 soda for athletes. Whole food nutrition, great taste. That's Kunu. Go to HUNUsoda.com and use code ESPN for 10% off your first order. Kunu Soda, soda that's actually good for you. HUNUsoda.com, code ESPN.
Babes, what are you doing? What? I'm just mowing the lawn. No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry. Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Across the country, opioid overdose deaths are going down. But in Arizona, they're rising. And it's not just opioids. Deaths linked to meth, cocaine, and kratom are increasing too. This is a crisis, but it's one we can change. Honest conversations about drug risks can save lives. Be part of the solution. Visit talknowaz.com for tools and resources. Sponsored by the Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
He played 8 seasons with the Arizona Cardinals. The Sandman.
It is caught, touchdown Auburn! Sanders caught it! Touchdown Auburn! Frank Sanders from Nick! Auburn's ahead!
Frank Sanders joins Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. right here on ESPN 620.
How are we doing today, Frank?
Happy Monday, guys. It's a great Monday, man.
Yeah.
Great weekend. Yeah, great weekend, man. Watched some little golf on the tube, man, and had a chance to watch my parlay stink, but everything else was pretty good.
Happy belated Father's Day to you there, big fella.
Same to you guys, man. What a great day, man. What a
No,
great
I turned
day.
my
Great
phone
night.
was off. My phone was off yesterday.
Your phone was off. Why?
Yeah. Well, it's Father's Day.
So
I think
weren't you out there wishing everybody Happy Father's Day, all your guys?
No, I didn't want to. I didn't want to take any calls in.
Oh man, jeez, I was sitting there all day. Hey, Happy Father's Day. Hope you're doing well.
No, I
Even
didn't.
you,
I
Frank.
didn't want. I don't have any kids, Manuch.
I know that, but
That's why my phone was off.
I got kids.
See, Frank understood where I was coming from on that. Manuch,
No, I
you just
don't. I did the same, man.
get off my lawn.
Man, I had like 200 and some text messages out to all the players and friends and homies. And you got to get friends, man. Rock, you got to get friends, man. You just got to get friends. You want
No. I have plenty. I have plenty. Speaking of that, we were talking to Steve Jones, U.S. Open champion in '96, and what we saw yesterday specifically with Wyndham Clark and the New York galleries on how rough they were on him. Do you can you recall a time where you went into an opposing stadium and it was just all about 81, or I don't know what your number was at Auburn, but that they're all over you? That it was just ridiculous that it couldn't make you continue or focus the way you probably would like to?
No, no, they was I play a team game, so you got to focus on more than just me in that regard. I mean, no, we were so many times the underdog that when we won, it was just like a slap in the people's face. So they wasn't really gearing against us unless it came down to the last minute.
You win?
You're gonna be like, yeah. Like, I mean, we came into Florida and we were number 7 in the nation, and Florida was number 1 in the nation, and that's a hostile environment. That's probably one of my favorite college atmospheres to play in is at the University of Florida, down in Gainesville. And look, from the time you get into that little square they have, you're going to get the finger all the way to the stadium. No one holds the finger down. They give you you're number 1 all the way across the board. And so the fans at Florida will let you know that they don't support you at all. But no one, I play a team game, so it's a lot different than it would have been if I was playing an individual sport.
What's the that you were aware of, a secret this time, that the greatest barb that was thrown at you that you kind of smiled or snickered and said, man, that's a pretty good one? Did you recollect anything coming out of those Bama fans or Cowboy fans or Redskin fans back in the day?
Look, we would not hate it. We were homecoming.
Yeah.
Yes. we just spoiled so many people. We just spoiled, like, we were on probation. And when I was at Auburn, we was on probation, and we spoiled so many people. They thought they were going to celebrate that night. Not tonight, bro. Frank Sanders was in the building. Not tonight. Stephen Davis was in the building. Not tonight. Auburn came to play. Like, we went, like, remember, my junior year, excuse me, guys. My junior year, we went 11-0, and we were on probation. And so that was a slap in the face to so many people that they didn't expect us to do the same. They didn't expect us to be good, and we ended up being really, really good that year. The following year, my senior year, went 10-1-1. And it was the same thing. You know, no one thought we were going to be a really good team, and we put up a fight against a lot of teams and walked away with a lot of W's. So that was, you know, that in itself is probably, you know, one of the greatest moments for me as a player and watching my team come together. Look, when we went to Dallas, no one thought we was going to beat Dallas in 1998 when we went to the playoffs, and we walked right into Texas Stadium and kicked their butt and came back home with a W. And so that was, you know, no one thought we was going to be great, but, you know, most of the teams I played on, we had great guys with great character, and they just didn't hear the crowd noise, man, and went out and kicked somebody's butt.
It's Frank Sanders here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Some rumblings, some rumors out there that the Cardinals should trade for J.J. McCarthy or maybe jump in the supplemental draft and go after Brandon Sorsby. Well, you know, when there's smoke, there's fire, right? So could you see a scenario that they would go for either one of these guys? Or, I mean, you already got 3 there, maybe 4.
Or a lot of smoke, Frank.
Yeah, I see smoke, man. I think the smoke is out there with the intent that it really shows that, you know, that they understand that the people are trying to rally around the fact that the only thing that's really hurting the Cardinals right now is that they don't really have a starting quarterback that they can say is a bona fide first. He's number 1, and they're ready to go into the season versus this gauntlet of a schedule that they have. And I think that people are making up this noise to kind of, you know, say that, hey, if this team wants to make a push, they should try and go out and get these other people. But you're not bringing in better if you didn't go get it already, then you really just kind of missed that bus. But I think the Cardinals didn't miss the bus. I think they did exactly what they wanted to do in the offseason, which was in the draft. They went out and got a quarterback, and Carson Beck was there in the round that they wanted him in, and he was still there. I believe they believe in him right now, and I think like that is the part where, I don't think they're panicking at all about, what they have going into the season. They know they have a conversation to have with Jacoby Brissett, and I think, but they have an opportunity also to look at their potential, top draft pick and a quarterback and see if he's ready to play football. If not, then we have to make a decision to sign Jacoby to a contract.
Frank, if they were, let's just say hypothetically, if a team, let's say the Cardinals were to get a Brendan Soares, and they bring him in, what would be some of the issues you might have, or look at a guy with kind of a squinted eye to make sure that his gambling issues are behind him? Meaning, if he starts, he's throwing some interceptions, or he's throwing some things that are very questionable, whatever. Do you think that's a hurdle he's going to have to get over with whoever team he goes to?
Oh, absolutely. Knowing what they know now. I mean, so there's let's do this. So let's separate everybody.
Okay.
And go to upper management and say upper management has to have that conversation. And the conversation that I would think upper management would have is that they would have already pulled up his phone records, through the FBI. They'd have put up his phone records and looked at all his in anything he's done on his phone, betting wise, or has he been part of any betting scheme or system that looks kind of sketchy or etchy over the last couple of years. And we have context of that conversation. And so once the Cardinals bring him in, they're going to address that issue with the team and his teammates to try to have that conversation and say, hey, this is what we happen, but we need a great player. And then the player has to show up. The second part is the player has to show up and just be solid about himself. If there's any question marks, he needs to answer. He needs to answer this to a bunch of grown men who's making a living, and living their dream out playing football. They don't need any question marks about the guy that has the ball in his hand 90% of the time. The third part is then his teammate. He has the teammates will be watching him with the squinted eye, of course. But the mindset is that when you go back and watch film, Rock and Manuch, when you look at that film don't lie. And so there's a couple of things that could be question marks if you start watching it. And then you get to see if you can handle the pressure of, hey, man, someone talking about you. We don't believe in you. Win us over then. Make sure that if you get a chance to come to the NFL, you got to win that team over. And if anything start looking sketchy, man, that's not a good look at all. And I think that, management has to cover their bases and make sure that they have a good understanding of what's taking place and create the confidence that their decision was solid, and he doesn't have a problem with what has stained him so far in his potential early start of his NFL career.
Okay, so I don't know if you can write this in the language in the contract, if it's a CBA violation or not, to check his phone periodically to make sure he's not doing what you're saying, or would the FBI be all over this because he's a red flag no matter what?
The FBI would be over no matter what.
Okay.
It wouldn't even have to be a contract issue. They already themselves have to look. The NFL is not a collective bargaining agreement, and the NFL owners have to have access to certain things. And it might not be the player's phone, but it's definitely the contracts with the gambling companies that we're involved in, along with them allowing them to have access to, the NFL. Before that wasn't the case. Now it is the case. You have to monitor those kind of transactions that are happening, and not just that player, but the players' families that are involved and all those people's names that are on these watch lists that we don't know about. I'm pretty sure, if I was playing, it wouldn't just be me. My daughter's names would be also people to watch, because you got to pay attention to certain circumstances that might turn into a hostage situation, and then you watch the player go out and do certain things. So there's some real things behind closed doors that are really taking place to protect the so-called integrity of the game. And with that, you have to allow it to play out. And every player agrees to that because they know that, this is in the business of entertainment, especially in our sport. Now that gambling is a part of it, you have to kind of try to remove all things that look like it could be a sleight of hand.
You really think I watch film? I mean, you said, Rock, when you watch film.
Yeah, I got it. Rock,
seriously.
Look, hey,
dude, first of all, film?
You might be the brains. I mean, look, you you can't not hang around the water and not get wet.
No,
Like,
no.
He never watched film, Frank. He never.
How boring is that? Like, I can't even watch a game that it's already over. Like, I can't watch last night. If I missed the U.S. Open, I can't go watch it today. It's over yesterday, and I already know the outcome, so I can't go back and watch film. But just come on.
So you wouldn't watch film. Manuch would watch film, but you'd watch highlights.
Yes.
There are people that get the actual books, and there's those who get the cliff notes.
Yes, that's what I like. Cliff notes
And other news-related cliff notes.
Cliff notes. Remember, they were like yellow. They were like it's a yellow pamphlet. Remember, Cliff notes are yellow.
Yeah.
How do you think Frank got through Auburn?
Me too. And my master's Cliff notes.
Hey,
when about, look about. When in doubt, look about.
Hey, speaking of tape, what's your tape tell you about Jacoby Brissett? Why isn't this thing resolved? We got 3 weeks before training camp. No, 4 weeks, Frank. July 22nd. Why is this thing not in the can?
Because they know what they got already. They know what they have in Jacoby Brissett. You know, they know what he brings to the table. I mean, he's the guy that you can wait on day 2 or 3 before training camp ends and bring him in and let him play. I mean, he's that guy. And he comes in with a presence. And so not having him there gives everyone else to try to show themselves to have some sense of presence and leadership. And again, but you already know what you got with Jacoby Brissett, especially when it comes to the locker room. When he showed up for minicamp, it was like a voluntary camp. It was like having a leader there, just not playing because of business purposes. But the Cardinals know what they have in him. And the identity is that, can Carson Beck take this team right now? Can Gardner Minshew take this team right now without him being here? Will the guys respond to them, these two guys? Do they look like they can absorb the book that the coach has right now and allow them to come out and show their leadership, their quality, and their arm talent without having the threat of already a veteran quarterback who already has to hit, has leadership in this team. So it's good for them as well. I mean, it's good for the Cardinals. It's good for them to see what Carson Beck can do, and it's good for Gardner Minshew as well as get plenty reps and the opportunity. But they already know what they have with and against these with Jacoby Brissett. I think that's on the table, and you don't have to see that all the time. You don't have to see what he does.
Were the food and the spreads during when you guys watch film, was it always pretty good? I mean, it's always catered, right? When you guys watch film?
Some guys did, but more likely we would send a rookie out to go get some KFC, Popeyes chicken, or something down the road. Rookie's got to do rookie's job. You got to go get.
Yeah. Hey, Frank, that's the quarterback. We take the 16mm projector home, put a sheet up, and just watch it off the wall. We watch that extra tape. So I'd stop somewhere, eat, and watch that tape. Get the projector. You remember the old 16mm projector? You put the sheet up in the living room and watch it off there?
Yeah, I definitely remember those things. I'm trying to forget them, though, after all this technology. God dang, right?
That's Manuch. That's Manuch, not me. I never watched film.
You got us out here pushing cars again, man. No, you got to come on, Manuch.
Frank, did you have too much fresh air last night? What happened? I mean, you telling a hard time, telling us apart here all of a sudden? What's up?
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, man, the season's coming along, and I'm trying to ingratiate us as a team. And I forget. Roc was never in the locker room.
No,
so
never.
I keep trying to bring him in there and make him feel good about this thing as a team. And he keeps stepping out. He keeps alienating himself as a reporter.
I used to know, dude. I was in the locker room a lot. I'd have to go down there, take down the game notes,
pick up the jock straps,
make sure the food's there after the game.
Get the water bucket.
I stole the sponsorship to the food, so the Sub Factory was there.
Make sure there's
dropping off the food
in the locker
room.
room.
Never did any of that stuff.
Hey, I keep trying to ingratiate him, man, and bring him in, but he keeps jumping out. He don't want to be a part of it. And this is what I realized. He doesn't want to be a part of it.
That's it.
Don't. Nope.
He don't.
Nope.
He don't.
You leave. My door is always shut. Always shut. I mean that. You ask any of my business partners, my door is always shut because I'm the white knight. I need to come in and save everybody.
Hey.
And Manuch knows it. He's been riding I've been paying him for freaking 15 years, 22 years.
22 years.
I mean, the amount of money he has made for me.
That's right.
I mean, millions.
And it's ingratiated your
I have
reputation.
yet, all I get is a $50 freaking gift card on my birthday next week. That's all it is. It's 60 now?
Yeah, it's up to 60.
Man, you would think after 22 years, it'd be like $1,000, Vans golf shop carts,
Frank,
buy
he's
some
lucky,
new
he's
sticks.
lucky he's getting that for crying out on his birthday.
Hey, I watched
God.
watched the this weekend. I watched the movie Balls Up. Have you guys seen it yet?
No.
So
No.
it's a new movie. It's with Mark Wahlberg and this guy named Paul Walter Hauser. You'll know if you saw him, and it's got a lot of stars in it. Molly Shannon and all that. It's probably one of the dumbest movies, but it's funnier. You know what? I mean, the beginning, you laugh your balls off, literally, balls up. It's about a condom that fits over your testicles. And it's all about World Cup. And it's just one of those movies
We're gonna
that's
get in trouble here.
It's probably one of the, it's a movie. And it's one of those movies that it's probably really good the third time you watch it.
Catch all the
it's just to catch the one-liners. But it's such a stupid movie that you're like, it's kind of funny. It starts really good. And you're like, this is going to be great. And then it just nosedives, and it's just so bad. It's got cartel in it. It's just terrible.
See,
but it's a Mark Wahlberg type movie.
We're watching tape and Rock's watching senseless movies there.
No. Manuch, talk about tape. We talk about watching tape.
Yeah.
Manuch tapes The View and then watches it
my
later.
wife tapes
The View, and he watches it.
Oh, yeah. Watch it with her.
Come on.
Absolutely. You can learn a
Frank,
lot, Rock.
Frank,
a lot from watching
The View.
Absolutely.
Come on.
You get the facts, nothing
Hey,
but
my
the
man's
facts.
happily married. Leave him alone.
That's right,
He's
man.
happily married.
That's why I'm happily married.
Yeah. All right.
Some things you got to do, right, Frank?
No, you really don't.
Some things you got to do, brother.
Or you
That's right.
keep your
Go
phone
watch
off on
football.
Father's Day. All right.
Love you, brother.
Thanks, Frank. That's Frank Sanders.
Love y'all.
He's presented by All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company. They're hiring drivers, dispatchers, customer service agents. They got it all. Great pay, benefits, monthly fuel allowance. You can apply online at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where the future is always moving forward. Yeah, it's called Balls Up.
Is Will
You know what
Ferrell
it
in
is,
that,
lads? No, Will Ferrell's not in
He's
it.
on this one?
But
I
the guy,
actually watched
but
it right when it came out, and it was, like you said, it was absolutely horrible. But you do get some good laughs. The guy partying at the beginning, and he jumps off the thing and just smashes his face.
I'm dying in the beginning. So I'm like, this is going to be a freaking amazing, like hangover level type movie. And it nosedives. Really, I mean, quickly. But that Paul Walter Hauser is his sidekick, and it's outstanding. And it's the FIFA, it's the World Cup, so it kind of plays into what we're doing right now. But it is an awful, awful movie. But who's the other guy in there? Cohen. He was in Talladega Nights.
Oh yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Sacha Baron
He's
Cohen.
great, Sacha Baron.
He's pretty good at it. Yeah, it's
funny.
It's not bad. Anyway, we'll have our Learner Row one call. That's all is next. It'll be Joe Lowry, Phoenix Rising color analyst, about the expectations with Team USA.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selection. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at wrighttoyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out wrighttoyota.com.
Nobody handed parents a manual for raising kids with smartphones. But we're learning something important. Heavy social media use can affect kids' sleep, confidence, and mental health. And simply banning it isn't realistic. What parents can do is learn how to guide kids towards a healthier balance. The Cars for Kids parenting blog offers practical advice for parents to help their children succeed in a digital world. Visit carsforkids.org/parenting. Because smart kids need informed parents.
Finding yourself skipping your self-care routine, experiencing things around you others don't, or withdrawing from friends and family. You might be experiencing first episode psychosis, or FEP. Stress, trauma, substance use, even genetics can trigger it. And if you're in your late teens to mid-20s, it's impacting you more than others. Know the signs of FEP. Go to learnmorefep.org. Sponsored by MathForce, working to build healthier communities.
Well, I
I grow up, I want to be a teacher. Because when I'm a teacher, I can help kids to learn and chase their dreams.
PI, a defective immune system, affects millions of children. Early and accurate diagnosis and treatment give children like Sam a chance to achieve their dreams.
It takes a lot of caring teachers to make school fun. It took a lot of caring people to keep my dream alive. And now, because of them, I can be head of the class.
For more information, visit the Jeffrey Modell Foundation at info4pi.org.
Your everyday choices can help shape your future. Choosing healthy meals rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins, along with consistent exercise, can help reduce your risk of dementia. Even small changes, like a short walk a few times a week or eating less processed foods, can make a difference. Eat smart, move more, protect your mind. Visit alz.org/healthy habits to learn more. This message is sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association and the Arizona Department of Health Services.
It's the Lerner and Rowe one call, that's all call of the day. If you're looking for a full service law firm, just make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
Yeah, the team has done things that I don't really think many people outside of their walls thought they could so far this summer. That started with that gigantic win over Paraguay, a historically dominant performance, the U.S. at SoFi Stadium last Friday. And then missing Christian Pulisic now as they have for most of this tournament. 3 of the 4 halves that soccer the U.S. has played has been without Pulisic so far. Missing Pulisic in Seattle last Friday against Australia. The U.S. put in another impressive first 45 minutes. So they were dominant in that game, missing their best attacking player. The U.S. is playing entertaining, enthralling soccer. They're playing winning soccer. And now they've done something that they've never done before in program history, which is book a spot in the knockout round with a game to be played in the group stage.
They could go 3-0. Which will be the first time that's ever happened. But they're in the round of 32. That's Joe Lowry, Phoenix Rising color analyst on Team USA, exceeding expectations, which they clearly have. It's kind of unfortunate that the match on Thursday against Turkey will not mean anything. And I thought you brought up a good point that it's very similar to the end of the season in the National Football League when a team is already wrapped up the playoffs, they're in, they won their division, and there's really no reason to play that last game, whatever game that is, and you're playing your backups and you're getting reps and your third string quarterback is the starter. And it's unfortunate where people are spending thousands of dollars to go to SoFi to watch this match, and it means absolutely nothing. Turkey is done. They're out. They'll be leaving the Arizona Athletic Grounds after this week practice. They'll probably, once the game is over, they'll fly back home and, move on.
I
it's
guess
kind of unfortunate.
The other side of that coin is it's kind of you sit there and you go, okay, it's the first time that as you mentioned, it ever happened that they've gone and done that, that they've had that kind of luxury to play a lot of their backups and play, 4 or 5 guys and guys heal up and get themselves ready for the following week. I believe July 1st is would be the first game that they play.
Santa Clara.
And, it's kind of that blessing in disguise. But in the meantime, the fans are missing out on watching top-notch soccer, what they paid for. So that's one of the things I never really thought about is if you win, that this last game is going to be a friendly or just an exhibition game, whatever you call it. But a lot of folks, you've never been able to predict that. You just can't predict that. So, they'll go there, they'll watch the USA team take on Turkey, and hopefully their guys get a lot of reps, guys have a lot of backups, rest a lot of guys. And I thought it was interesting what Joe also said, Joe Lowry, that I didn't realize there was 4 yellow cards. I knew there was a couple that I saw, but I know there's 4 on this USA team that the next one, they're out for a game. They have to sit the complete game out. So they won't have any chance, those 4 sitting out this game against Turkey to collect another yellow card.
All right, here's what's on tap, brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The official partner of Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B at all 5 Twin Peaks locations. D-backs open the road trip at St. Louis, 4:45 tonight. Tomorrow on the show, we'll have FS1 college basketball analyst Casey Jacobson, Bob Nightingale from USA Today, and Kyle Dodd, former ASU point guard and color analyst now for the radio side, and Arizona Republic columnist Bob McBanaman. So those guys will join us tomorrow. If you missed the interview with Frank Sanders or Steve Jones or Joe Lowry, you can just download the Arizona Sports app. It's all right there. It's also up on rockandmanuch.com.
D-backs taking on those Cardinals tonight. Okay. Going to be interested to see what the D-backs do as far as another starter. I believe Cabrera will be the next starter for tonight. Kelly, tomorrow Rodriguez.
Well, Cabrera pitched yesterday.
Yeah, but he might
won't
start.
pitch tonight.
No. I say he'll probably the starting rotation.
Oh, you're talking about
yeah, Kelly Rodriguez, and then Wednesday we don't know, and then Zach Gallen will be the fourth in rotation.
Come on, Zach, pull it together.
Let's go. It's unfortunate to see him unravel right now,
especially when you need him. Yeah. I mean, you really need him in there. Congrats to all our winners, too. We had a ton of winners in our contest for the tickets. We'll have some more tickets that we'll give away later in the week. This hour, Casey, Cody, Kevin, you were all winners, and those tickets have been emailed to you. So we appreciate you listening. We'll do it again tomorrow, beginning at 1 o'clock. So for Laz, for Manuch, and Rock, have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow, right here on ESPN Radio Phoenix.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber